I was very fortunate again to sit down with Patricia Avant, the filmmaker from the film Black People Do See UFOs. Patricia and I are friends, I'm just going to say it. And I'm sick, as you can tell. I don't have the coronavirus. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. I've had 14 tests and they're all negative, but I still sound like this. So I'm sick. We had a great time. We talk about everything here. We sit down. Nothing is off limits. Patricia's amazing. Her footage is amazing. And I hope you enjoy this. And I like to drink anyway. And when I'm sick, I like to drink more. So we'll just see how it goes.
Okay.
So it should be a fun time, I think, for both of us. At least for me, I'm going to have a good time.
Right, we're going to learn all kinds of stuff tonight. Huh?
Yes, we are. We're going to have a fun night tonight. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much for coming back on and hanging out with me, though.
Oh, I enjoy it. You know.
It was awesome. Awesome. I'm so happy about all the positive response we got, too. It was so great, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable.
Everybody was just like, yes.
You know?
And I got so many people going, dude, thank you. And everybody was talking to you and reaching out. Did you have a bunch of people reach out to you?
I did. I had so many. I'm telling you, I had this one guy on Twitter today. Somebody knew I haven't seen him before, and he saw that little snippet that I put up from last night.
Oh, yeah.
And he was one of these ones that, oh, you can't do that with that camera. And this is that. He was going off and off and off. And he's been the only real negative thing that I've had.
Right.
You know,
you're always going to have one or two. I mean,
oh,
they're always
yeah.
going to be out there. Yeah.
Somebody's going to feel like it's a floating seat cushion. I just can't get over that one.
I swear I want to make a T-shirt of a floating seat cushion and just say, just put Black People Do See UFOs and just have that thing floating through the sky. Because it's just the most amazing thing. I mean, I couldn't even come up with that. Like, I got to give a little credit for originality on that, I guess.
Okay, right.
It's not a weather balloon; it's a floating sea cushion.
A floating sea cushion.
Well, here's a crazy thing. My cousin, so my wife's cousin, on Facebook last night. He's near Sandusky, Ohio, so it's near the lake. He posts, "Hey, I'm walking in. I got out of my car. I'm walking in to go get a pizza, and I look out." And I see these orange orbs over the lake. And I'm watching them for a little while. I'm watching them for a while. And I walk in the pizza place to get my pizza. And I told everybody, hey, I see these orange orbs outside. And they go, like, yeah, dude, what are you smoking? Like, like whatever. And he's like, no, really? And he goes back outside. And he's like, they're gone. And he's like, so he put it on Facebook. And I'm like, hey, dude, like, that's the gateway drug for UFOs. You saw the orange orbs. Congratulations. Like,
that's right.
And then you posted your video.
The gateway drug.
It is. It is.
Oh, last night?
It was last night. Oh. And I was like, well, the lake, I don't know. It's the same region. And we're talking Ohio, Michigan are real close. Lake Erie, I don't know if it was the same direction, but like, I'm thinking, man, I showed my wife and she was like, whoa. And she's like, did you I'm like, yeah, I told him. And so I sent him your video, you posted it, and he hasn't said anything yet. Cause I think he's just kind of like, well, maybe it was, but like, he said that actually it was the second time he saw something with like 11 people before, orange orbs before like that. But it was amazing that to me, it looked orange. I don't know if to you, before you zoomed in, to me, it was like orange orb, right?
A couple of people thought it looked orange. It looked pink to me for some reason. On my screen, it looked pinkish. It was red at first, and then it turned pink. But I guess when it actually started expanding, it did look redder at that time. But that's weird. I haven't seen a star like that, or whatever the hell it is, in the back of my house in over a month. That one, I was really shocked that it started, I don't know, what do you call it, performing?
Yeah. No, that's a great way to put it. It starts dancing. It looks like it's dancing for you. I mean,
it's dancing, and then that thing started coming out of it. And that kind of it didn't scare me, but that was weird.
Right.
That kind of long
protrusion.
Yeah. But I could tell it's windy here. It was windy last night, and the wind seemed to be blowing against it.
Weird. So it was going the
So
opposite way, the wind.
yeah. It was trying to go against the wind. And but yeah, I thought, God, I wish I knew how to live stream. I,
Oh
but I
yeah,
don't.
no, I'll show you how. We'll figure it out. I mean, I don't know if you. That's a good idea though, because then the black van will know exactly where you're at to come get you.
I'm having look. The other day, I looked out of my window. I was looking for a package, and I see a, a black USB or something, and
Yeah.
it was parked on the wrong side of the street, and I freaked.
Oh my.
I'm like, why is it there? And it did not move for a good while.
Oh no. Was it all tinted out and everything too, where you couldn't see inside of it?
I couldn't tell. I was too scared to really
Yeah.
look.
Yeah. It's probably
But
better that you just didn't.
there probably was nobody. I haven't seen it since, but too
Yeah,
many
I know.
people.
No, no, I get it. So I mean, did you? So this time you went outside. Did you just go outside looking for it, or did you just go, "Hey, maybe something was
It
out there"?
was getting late, and I decided, oh, you know what? I forgot to put the chain on the door. So I go to do that, and every night I go and look, and there it was, and I have like a awning over the back steps, so kind of had to lay down to get up under to see it, but there it was. And then I'm filming, and this little orange flower thing keeps popping up in the bottom of my camera. What the heck is that? I just did my battery, so I know it's charged. What the heck is that? And of course, it was trying to tell me that my SD card was full.
Oh wow!
So I run in and I'm
Grabbed another
trying to.
card.
I only have one. Isn't that stupid?
Oh
Because I generally drag everything off and put it on like I
yeah,
have 5 external drives.
just fill
And
them
I
up.
drag and put it off, of course, but it was full. So I had a lot to do. I couldn't just pull off one
Right.
and get going. So I said, you know what? Well, I'll just send this one up and then I'll go back and wait. And by the time I went back, it was gone. But I thought I got some good footage.
Yeah. No, it was great. No, it was really good. That was a rad.
Yeah.
That was. I
Yeah.
mean, I do that, and I look outside, and I'm like, okay. But sometimes I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm scared. I'm not even gonna deny it. Like,
Well, you know what, John? I'm beginning to realize that I think most people are. Everybody's going, yeah. But really, no. They don't really, I don't think they want to know, but they don't want to know
you want to know
or
until it
something,
actually happens to you, and then
I
you
just,
don't want to know about it anymore,
till it
right?
actually happens, Like I was thinking today, I really wouldn't mind being abducted, but I just want to come back home. I don't want to go and not come back. I want to have an Enoch experience, I
Yeah.
want to
Right.
go and come back. But because I get this, the feeling, every time I see something, I'm thinking, yep, it's really great, it's weird, it's wonderful, and I love it. But it's not helping us.
Yeah. And one of the things that you said in your last interview that really stood out to me was, and I went through all of Pista Sophia. I did the audio. I did the audio book. And I read as I went along, like you said,
Okay.
and a lot of it was like spot on with this stuff. It just seems like it's like the coming of
Yeah.
whatever's to come. I don't know how to phrase it. That I'm just trying to make English out of how it seems to my brain. But when I look at your videos, it's almost like I hate to say this, but it's like a revelation or like
Yeah.
a
Something's preparing itself.
yeah,
Like a
yeah,
preparation, because it's too many of them too often, and they seem
everywhere.
to have a purpose or something. And these red orb things, I'm like, everybody is seeing them, and they don't care that they're being seen, and
No,
they
it's like they're getting ready for something.
getting ready for something.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt, especially after I read that with the text, the Pista Sophia. I was like, wow. I mean, it does kind of, it's like it's preparing us for the
So
next step.
did,
Or
did it did it did you get the impression that the self-will thing that they call it self. Did you get this far? The self-will thing with the dog face that was giving Princess Sophia so much trouble. That
Yeah.
he created us. Did you get that impression? Really?
Well, it was like it seemed like she was tortured. I hate to say that, but in the Pistol Sophia, she was like put in a place where she was trapped, and this is my interpretation, but she was trapped and she was tortured. She had all these trials, and she was just basically still going, "I've done everything you wanted me to do, Lord, whatever." And it sounded, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like it was like, "We got to get her out. We got to get Pistol Sophia out. Let's get her out." Like she's trapped in this realm, and she suffered too much. And is that right? Am I kind of getting?
Well, she got in trouble for helping the one that they call self-will create us.
Right.
Okay. And so as a result of that, that was what her punishment was for. And apparently, she could see Jesus going back and forth through all these realms.
Yeah, and she's just hanging out and she can't move, right?
She couldn't go to the next level because of what she did. Mm-hmm. And she's asking him to help, and she's doing all these praises and everything. The interesting thing to me is that he told her he couldn't move her yet because he hadn't been commanded to do so.
Right.
But that he still kind of helped her, tried to buffer people off of her. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's a really weird book. And like you say, when you start thinking about that and all these other things that seem to be swirling on and on and on, and just weird. Everything's weird.
Yeah, no, I think it's in the context of what we're seeing and how everything's going. It seems like we're just in we're in a vibrational state that sometimes they can come and mess with us, and sometimes they can't, or they don't want to, or maybe we can do the same, if we can get in the same frequency, or we can get in the same vibration that our paths kind of cross. But I think that whatever they're doing now, or have been for a set amount of time, is basically vibrating into our realm, our space, and whatever they got going on is probably a lot more important than what we think we got going on. You know what I mean? Like
right.
they're doing something that's way above our pay grade. So, so we just happen to catch glimpses of it when they take their trash out or something.
I think I was telling someone, I think I saw so many. I think it's because Elon is sending up all this stuff. They're rerouting. Maybe they're just rerouting or something.
Yeah, maybe moving it around to get out of the way.
Yeah, to get out of the way. They don't want to blow him up just yet.
Right. Shit. Yeah,
Not just yet.
I'm sure they have a few times, but
well, he can't seem to get that big one off to do right, can he?
Yeah, he's getting closer. It's just getting closer. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is just a wash in. It could be everything at the same time. I mean, I really don't think we as humans have the mental capacity to like bring it in and comprehend all of it. I think we're getting these glimpses of it.
Yeah.
And it's helping us get to the point where we can finally get there. But I think if we got it all at once, we would just go.
You think so?
Well, I think a lot of people would. I think a lot of people. You and I wouldn't. We would be okay.
But I don't know. I guess I feel that way too, because like I said, I'm beginning to feel like I've got this. God, I don't want to say this and offend anybody, because I know everybody in the UFO community on Twitter is trying to be helpful.
Yeah,
I know they really are. But I I'm not cut from that same cloth. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've got just a couple of people telling me what I need to do, what I should do. And, I need to bring out the context, and I need to share more and tell everybody what I'm doing. And I'm not doing anything. I'm just filming.
Yeah.
No, but it's like they think I have some kind of, I don't know.
Agenda?
Not an agenda. Maybe it's like they think I'm hiding something.
Oh.
Like I'm not telling them or showing them everything. I'm not telling you where I live.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Right, and Um, I don't know, but just a weird thing. I love that everybody is the people that have been positive have been overwhelmingly so, and I love that. I can't get enough of that. But the other guys scare me a little bit.
Well, yeah, and it's and I think it's out of their fear. It's out of their fear because if what you're doing and portraying and presenting is real, then their whole mind just goes and they can't handle it, you know? I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's one part of it. The other part of it, because if you just paid from the government to tell her to just make noise and say, oh, it's not real.
Now I wondered. I thought that the guy that came out of nowhere today, that's what that felt like.
Yeah, like disinformation guys just like,
Oh
that's
my
not real.
goodness.
You even know how to film a camera. You know how to use a camera. And
Right. Well, then when he looked at the one, he hadn't saw the documentary, right? So
right,
I told him, I said, well, go look at number 16 and number 25 and then come back, tell me what you think.
right.
He hasn't said a word since.
No, I don't, yeah, because what do you do when you look at number 16 and 25? You sent them to me right before this. I mean,
Right.
we can look at. I'll see if I can get it here in a minute to pull it up and blow up the Zoom. But we'll see, see if we can look at it at the same time and talk about it. But those are the things where, like my wife, like I told you before, my wife doesn't get into this at all. But when she looked over my shoulder when I'm watching, she's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I don't know what that is exactly." Thank you. I don't. It's not a drone. It's not. She's like, it looks like it's alive. I'm like, yeah, it does. Thank you.
Now you're talking about something online or
No, you're when I was
on some of the
watching.
video
Yeah, I was
on last
watching.
night.
No, yeah, exactly. Because that's her cousin. She told me she's like, hey, look, my cousin did this now, and I'm like, oh, really? Look, and she's like, what is that? And I told her, I'm like, Patricia. She's like, here's the lake. Here's like the thing. Like, it could have been seeing the same thing. I don't know. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
And then when we were watching, I was watching, your film. She's like, what is that? And I'm like, I have no idea. I've never seen anything like this. Like, I mean, it's amazing. And you, I think since the last time we talked, you watched
Capturing the light.
Capturing the Light. Isn't that amazing?
And the funny thing about that is I realized I had watched that sometime before, forgotten about it, and didn't believe it when I saw it. And
Weird,
then
right?
somebody told me recently to watch it. And I was just about in tears
Oh man.
because it is so similar to me, and it was such a validation because it's weird, sometimes I still look at that stuff and think, maybe it is a light,
Right.
because I can't wrap my head around it still. I can't wrap my head around the volume,
Right.
and I can't wrap my head around the fact that I have so many that I haven't put up. And I was dragging them off, like I said, off of the SD cards, just dragging them off and then just film some more, drag them off. So now I'm looking at ones that when I look at them, like when I look at number 25, I do not remember seeing that
With your eyes.
at
Like
all.
or at all. Wow.
No, and I have a lot of them that I had looked at and either they were so beautiful or something. I go, oh yeah, oh yeah. But that one, I look at that one and I'm like,
It doesn't register at all. Like you did it and you don't even know that it was there.
yeah,
Wow.
because it's so big. And I'm thinking, how could I not remember that?
Right.
And then it changes from that big rock looking thing to me, I don't know how it couldn't be anything but a ship, But the one I want to look at, talk to you about,
Yeah.
number 16. And the reason I want to talk about that so much is because in a certain portion of it, there's something coming up out of one of those holes.
Whoa.
And I don't know, I see it and I don't, but I get, when I look at the analytics on Vimeo, I do get the impression that people are watching it, maybe getting a little afraid, frightened by it, and turning it off. And so they're showing me that people are coming back to finish. So maybe that is what it is there.
Well, it could be. So number 16, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you just emailed that to me, didn't you? Let me-
Yep.
Okay.
I think it was 16. The one with the face.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can
So you
get
don't
it.
have to pull it up. Can you see it? And
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up and share it. Hold on.
okay.
Let me see if we can try to make this work. Not like I know what I'm doing. Hold on a minute. And I do IT for a living, which is don't tell my boss. Let's see what we can get here. We can get it figured out. No, yeah. I mean, the thing that gets me on all of this is that it's and I hate to say this because it doesn't sound cheesy, but I don't know. It sounds to me, it's hard not to get emotional.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So this is number 16. So go ahead. Tell me what
So
you're looking at.
specifically, those knobs, those white glowing things,
Yeah, at the tip.
the tips, that's generally what looks like the star.
Okay.
So I'll be looking up and I'll see that thing blinking, and actually after I start to zoom in, and I have to take maybe 2 or 3 pictures to get that little bitty ball to start glowing again, because it'll start to look flat. And then that's when they will start to do the crazy thing. See those two on there too?
Yeah.
And that's something that's specific to almost all of them.
The
That
two bright
It'll be,
lights.
sometimes it's more than 2,
Yeah.
sometimes it's 3 or 4. It just depends. But they all seem to have some number of those on them.
And they're the brightest part of this whole
That's
light
the
source.
brightest part. So you may not see the rest of that. I'll see those little glowing things.
Yeah.
One, usually just 1 or 2, and then the next thing you know, you've got all that other stuff going on behind it.
And they're the brightest focal point. So when you originally if you panned all the way out, you would just see this bright. You wouldn't see 2. You would just see 1 bright.
Just 1, and they always are twinkling like a star,
Right.
or whatever. And then this one didn't change as many colors, but if you watch it slowly, you can slowly watch it change into that. You can see the structure of the face that's starting to form, or whatever that shape is. And it did that before my eyes, but right there in the corner, right there, do you see where that something is
Yeah.
starting to come out of there?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Wow. And then it just, whoa.
It's still there. And when it goes back, and when I slow it down and change the lighting just a little bit so you can see it brighter, because I was watching that the whole time in the thing, and it went dark like that, and I thought it was gone.
Oh, so like with your naked eye or through the camera? Both.
Through the camera.
Through the camera, okay.
And then I still was filming, because I had started filming in the dark anyway, just because I learned that could possibly still be something there. Now you see that thing is going to come out and crawl across the front of it, or move across the front. I shouldn't say crawl, because I don't know. You see it?
Yeah. What is it doing?
Watch it come all the way out.
It's like it's giving birth or something. Yeah, I don't know. But you know what I mean?
Know.
Is it is it coming into this world, or like
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
it doesn't make any sense. Thanks for putting the line, because it helps. I mean, I'm mesmerized by the whole thing. I mean, just because to me it's like a rainbow. Just every color is just boom, boom, boom.
I know, right?
And pulsing. It's just pulsing and shifting through every color in the.
And so I had read somewhere that that's them mimicking a star, because I guess stars do that, but it's still coming out.
Like, where?
Now watch it. It's going to move across the front.
It's just so bizarre. And I mean, obviously, with the naked eye or even through the camera, it's not something that you
No,
particularly see. It's just
no,
all of this
no.
going on at the same time. But when
All
you,
of it's going on. And then when I slow them down and look at them, then I'm seeing all this stuff.
right,
But
it's just amazing. And
so
the
I don't,
intensity of the colors and the wash in the background and
yeah.
it's just, it seems, it's just, I don't even know what to say.
I know there's really, it's what can you say? I mean, this thing went from that looking like a water hose spray gun or something to this.
You know, and this is way slowed down, right? We're talking, I mean, you slowed
this
this
is
down.
slowed down.
Yeah. Yeah. And it turned into this.
And just so you know, I'm zoomed as far as I can zoom. It started to move closer to me. Not, it's probably a million miles away, but it started to move closer.
So
You
you
know.
had to try to get back into frame to,
Yeah. So,
right.
now at this point, I lightened it up so you could see that it's there. But at this point, when I'm filming it, I don't see that because it's dark.
Right.
And I thought it was gone.
Wow.
And then when I ran it slow and lightened it up a little bit, I was
Wow.
really shocked to see that it was still there.
That's amazing. I don't even. I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, I've seen it, but listen to you talk about it as you watch it it makes a billion times more sense to me because, honest to God, I love your film. I do, but I would be more than happy to sit down with you and just do that with every single thing you filmed because the context is there. I mean, from what you were seeing and what you were filming and what you did, you slowed it down. You couldn't see with the naked eye. You brightened it up and all that. I mean, it's almost like they're letting you in to see like their world. It's like are they
But
shipping something
why?
into our dimension? Are they just like I said, are they letting their kids out to play? Are they just hanging out? Do they want you to see this stuff? Do they want you to film it and tell everybody? Like, I don't know.
That's the thing. I wasn't sure about that either. I remember holding on to them and looking at them. I'm telling you, I would get a cup of coffee and maybe a donut and just, it was like I was at a movie watching all these things. And then I
Right.
thought, why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing all of this? And I don't have a clue why I'm seeing all of these things.
Well,
I know.
yeah, why, and for what?
Right. It's like we said before, why black people don't care about UFOs because it's like, well, if you're not coming down here to help us, or anybody for that matter. I was thinking the other day, I was like, well, if you're planning to come down and say, I'd rather see one. And it came down and said, you know what? We're coming down to help now. Are you ready? Everybody get ready. We're going to change this thing for the better and everybody's going to be good and okay. Than to see hundreds of them
Right.
and have no clue and my grandson probably thinks I'm crazy because sometimes I'm walking around this house asking out loud, what do you want me to do with this stuff? What am I to do with this stuff?
That sounds almost exactly what Dorothy Azat was saying in a lot
Yeah.
of this stuff. Like, I'm just here to, I don't know what they want, but she was doing like meditation and things like that. She was meditating before she went to bed. She was meditating. She was like, she got into this deeper connection with them where she would be like, oh, they're here. They want me to come outside. They want me to film. I reached out to the family with Dorothy Azak. She passed away in January, believe it or not. And she was in her 90s. And, I still haven't heard back. And a little that I did from her son was that, some of the films have actually gotten moldy because they were, some of the, actually Super 8 and different films. And he said, I think that without her context, a lot of it's just lights in the sky, and I think it personally, and I don't know why, and this just came to me, but I think you are the context to the lights in the sky. Like, your feelings, your emotions, whatever you see visually, whatever you feel at the time is the connection to your story and to what people need to hear, and how you can relate that to us humans. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just theorizing out loud here, but I mean, it's Dorothy Azat. I mean, it's amazing that they did that film about her. It was great. Amazing. Right. It's an amazing film. But like he said, I mean, what happened, what I tried to do, I said, hey, look, can we just do can we just do like a GoFundMe? Can we do something like that where everybody can put their money in and somebody could be like in charge, and we can do it all official, and somebody just sends it off to somewhere and just digitize all of it and just put it all, get digitized and just save it so it doesn't just rot away in a box. And then maybe one day it'll make sense,
I'm surprised that they haven't done something like that.
Yeah. And what's sad is because at the end of her documentary, she said like that was her wish or her dream or whatever, like her last, thing was that she hopes she could preserve all of this for future generations. And, I just hope that her family does that, but I don't know if they made a connection, and I think you haven't severed the connection. I think you have a cautiously appreciative approach to it in my regard.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're saying they made a connection. You mean to her or
whatever it is to her, I guess. Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember her son made a comment because they were excuse me, they did an interview. Somebody came to do an interview with her daughter.
Yeah, and that thing came in the background. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
And the son made a and we've said this before. He said that what, I saw it with my own eyes. I don't know what it is, but I can guarantee you, in a couple of days, I'll forget all about it.
Wow, he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, how could you see something like that
and just forget
feel
about it
that way?
I think it's fear. I really think there's like it's fear or love. I think there's two things really. I think that if you go to love and it's really hard for people to do. I mean, it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's hard, but the fear is easy. It's easy to be scared and run away, but to be welcoming and loving is the hardest thing to do for everybody, for me, for everybody.
Yeah.
I try every day. It's hard, but I think that's what we really need. And I'm really happy that, Dorothy is not you. I mean, women, I think that really women need to lead this. They need to hold our hand. And I'm saying hold our hand as like collective humanity, like all of us, and help us to get to the part where we understand this is what we need to do.
And they're trying to exclude them, right?
In what way?
They are trying very hard to exclude them.
Oh, women. Oh, yeah, right. Totally.
The one guy came on and he made a comment on Twitter that women were not doing any research, that women, he made all these really negative comments about women and why they weren't included in the UFO community.
Right.
And a few women were, responded to him, but it was really weird because I guess I didn't realize until I got involved in this way, the way how it's run. I knew it was a lot of mostly white men, but I guess I still, I had this naive idea that if you're looking into UFOs, that you must be spiritual as well, and that you're looking for other things. But I don't know what they're looking for. I don't know what the mainstream male side of the UFO community is looking for.
You're right.
I don't even think they know what they're looking for.
No, they don't.
And they're going through these documents over and over every year, the same documents, disclosure. What is it that you're looking for? And then orbs and all kind of shit flying through the sky.
Yeah. No, and like you said, most of them haven't even had an experience.
That's what is really crazy to me.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is the agenda? What are you looking for? If you're not looking for that orb that seems to be guiding and directing these green things through the sky, what are you looking for? You know what they're looking for? They're looking for Jesus.
You think so?
They're looking for Jesus to make that comeback, and they just won't say that.
Wow. You know, I never thought that
That's
before.
what I think. They're looking for him to come back. And I think the problem is they're looking for him to come back in a white robe. Not going to be the same way if he does.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but
It's not
that's
going to be
what
the
I think.
Jesus that you want. It's going to be the Jesus that you get.
That's yeah, no sandals.
No, he's not wearing any sandals
I've
right now.
always said if he's here, he's got on an Armani suit, I'm sure.
Right. Right.
But that's what I think. They must be looking for the second coming, pretty much the same way Herod was looking for the Jesus when he came. You know what I mean? He killed all those kids, trying to weed them out.
Yeah. Everybody, there's some scary shit that's going on that I've unfortunately been privy to, and I don't even know if it's true or not. But I mean, if it gets to the top, there's two groups. I don't know if we talked about this before or not, but from what I understand, there's a group that are in charge, and I say in charge, like, that are trying to bring about the end times via the Bible. So forgive me because my the cold medicine is gone, right? But you know what I'm talking, Revelations, right? They're trying to bring the end times down from the Bible, right? They're trying to basically make that happen on earth, right? So that everything else in their world exists because of the Bible and everything else. And there's another group that are at the same level or close that are trying to figure it out for the good, for the light. Regardless of religion or creed or whatever, but for humanity and the best of our species, right? And the white lady keeps showing up everywhere. The white lady, the Bledsoes. I know you know the Bledsoes.
Yeah.
She showed up. Dorothy Azat saw a white lady. I don't know if you know this, but in her book, Dorothy Azat's book is amazing. She talks about she was doing a conference and a white lady walked in, glowing white. Sat down in the front row, nobody talked to her. And it was just like everybody just couldn't do anything else but just stare at her. And, you know, I'm paraphrasing. I'm sure it's probably better than this, than what I'm trying to say. But, you know, this white lady just came in radiance and all this stuff. And there's a really good part of the book where she came in and was love and was compassion and all this stuff. And then she left and everybody was like, who is that? We don't know. And, you know, and like and Fatima, you know, and all this things. And it's like she keeps coming back. And she keeps coming back with a gentle hand, and that's what she comes back to kids, she comes back to women, she comes back. I mean, Chris Bledsoe's man, you know what I mean? But she comes back to, you know, but she's coming back, and she has a message. And the people that are on those two top people I was telling you about, the people that want to have the end times come, and the people that just kind of want to figure out what's going on, are really interested in what the lady has to say because she's important, and they know she's real. And she's not going to come to them. She's not going to come to me, but she might come to you. You know what I mean? Or she goes to Chris Bledsoe or you know, Dorothy Azad. There was another
that's open.
Yeah, or and accepting, and you know, like can do something or try, or you know what I mean. So I think that's coming, and I hope it does. I really do. I mean, this has been too far. There's been a bunch of white dudes just fucking it up for all of us.
Wow, it's the first time I've ever heard a white guy say that.
It's true. I'm sorry.
No, it is true.
It's true. There's been a long history of just white dudes thinking they have some type of superiority and that they know everything and they can run everything, and it's just not true.
Running it right into the ground.
Yeah, and I would want a strong woman, any ethnicity you can throw at me. She could be fucking blue.
I get it.
You know what I mean? But I would welcome her and be like, yes, I've kindly figured it out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And, I think the compassion is there, but also the strong hand. Don't piss mama off. You, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't want to piss mama off because, that's just how it is. And I think that we've just pushed that down. And I think that the things we were seeing is a gentle reawakening of our souls. Like, hey, it's cool to come back
Come.
to the light.
Right.
you
Well,
know?
what? I actually get the impression, especially when Jesus was talking, when he was walking around the first time, and he kept telling people, you don't have to be afraid to die.
Yeah.
Really shouldn't be afraid to die. He doesn't necessarily say death is your friend, but literally, I think he was saying you don't have to stay here.
See, now that's what I wrote down and from your last interview. And this is crazy. And and I haven't said this on camera and I haven't said this anywhere because one day my daughter's going to see this and she's going to be real pissed. She's 3 right now, but I'm just saying this out loud. That I never wanted to have children ever. And it was from a young age and I never knew why. And as I got older and I learned about all this stuff and I started doing all this stuff, I had this weird theory though that your DNA, like my DNA, if I procreated, stayed here on the planet, and part of me stays here.
It
So
does.
that part of my great whatever from a billion years ago is in me, and he's always there. And my great grandmother, she's always there. There's always that part, that DNA, that whatever that thing that holds me to the planet, that holds me to the earth, is in me, and it's there. And now I made another one and it's there. So part of me is still there. So my thought in my head was like, if I don't have a child, I get to go home. I don't have to stay here anymore. I can just go back. I don't have to hang out.
Because you won't be worried about it. If you're thinking that something I read just the other day about, it was a movie, I think, but this person was, you know what? It's the movie Gazillionaire.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. No.
Well, I don't want to tell you any part, but there's a
go ahead.
part where the one of the characters thinks she's getting ready to die, and she's talking to this other woman, and they're in the bathroom, and because she thinks she's getting ready to die, she starts telling her that I can go and die, you can't, because you have all these worldly connections. So if you die, you'll have regrets that will pull you back down here. But it's a really deep
Wow.
comment,
Yeah.
where she's saying that, in other words, the Bible speaks about being in this world, but not of it, and I think that's why, because if you have too many connections, too much unfinished business, and you die, then you might keep flipping back around with and not be prepared for all the craziness that keeps going on the planet, because it keeps getting crazier and crazier. It's not getting better.
Right. No, totally. Like you said, it's okay to go home.
Yeah,
It's okay to go home.
Yeah, but if you're stuck in that material world, that could obviously be hard to let go of, even after you die. The flesh.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what the hell is the flesh made of? What I know, Bruce Lipperton, Dr. Bruce Lieberman, is it Dr. Bruce? I think it's Lipton. He's a scientist, ex-scientist, who had this revelation while working on some cells, where he says that every single cell in your body has a brain.
Wow.
And he had these cells in a petri dish, and of course he said he put something round by one or something oblong, whatever he put by the cell in the dish, the cell would take on the shape of it. These are human cells.
Wow.
Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton.
I'll check
He's
it out.
really deep. You got to, he's
Yeah.
another good one. And so he had this revelation where he realized, he says that he would never die, that the cells are independent and have a brain. It's like your kidney cells each have a brain of their own that make the kidney work, and the brain, and every part of the body, the cell has the cells in it have a brain of their own. So I'm like, what is this stuff? Because they used to tell us it's dirt, but it can't be dirt.
Right.
It
Yeah,
might,
no, it's everything.
it
It's
might,
everything.
but it has a mind of its own. You know, you want to do one thing, and your flesh will literally, if you don't get control of it, make you or have you doing something else, right?
Yes.
You know,
No, that's totally it. I mean, it's scary and a good feeling to know that
you're
we're not
not
in
the only
control.
one. Oh, yeah, that's true. So, what do you think about then the whole story about the fallen angels?
Well, throughout my life, I've dumped on both sides of that whole thing, right? I know we talked before about the light and the dark, and me rolling down the middle, and the, with the gray hat on, I think my hair went gray way early because it just felt like that's where I was going. I was like, I can't
Right.
be on one side or the other. It's just gonna have to stay in the middle. But no, I think that oh wow. Well, there's and I can't place where this is at, but I can tell you that I feel like I've heard this before, and I'll figure it out at some point. But like the greatest angel in heaven can do the most evil thing in hell, but the most lowest devil in hell can do the most angelic thing, and you can imagine. So it's that as above, so below thing from the Hermetic principle. So it's like it's the duality of everything. Is there really a light and a dark? I mean, there has to exist. I mean, for I'm thinking the yin yang symbol in my mind, right? The black and the white chasing each other around, right? And black people do see UFOs. I guess that's a good correlation, right? But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there's always the light and the dark, and why is there good and bad? I mean, were the fallen angels really bad? I've gone to the point where going, no, they rebelled against authority and said, you can't be the only one that can tell us all this stuff, and let's just have it. I've gone to the other side where, they were the bad guys and somebody had to fight them and kick them out, but then I go always back to the middle where I go, well, how is there not the guy in the middle that goes, you guys are both right? Like, and maybe those are the lights in the sky going, you guys are both right. I don't know. Like, maybe you're here.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever figure it out. I don't know.
No.
I think I don't think there's right or wrong. I think there's good and bad. Maybe.
But then, of course, you have this undying question, right? Regardless to the good, the bad, the ugly, the devil, the angels, any of that, that the one source, if there is it, had to create all of that.
Yeah.
All of this is emanating from that.
Right. And we're all part of it, though.
Right.
That's why I always feel like it's just, we're not separate. It's not this side and that side. It's like we're all part of it. It's like it's the grand play that we all play. We close the curtain and we're slapping hands behind the stage. You're the bad guy this time. I'm the good guy. Hey, okay. Next time I'm the good guy. You're the bad guy. And it's just an endless cycle.
So you think it's a game, maybe, or a...
Personally, lately, I've been thinking that it's kind of like a blessing that we come here to experience this. Experience of the life we have, the love, the physical hardship, like me being sick right now, like like the pain, the heartache, the love, the physical things that we can't. And I think that when we die, we go back up, and it's like an amusement park. Hey, can I jump back in? Can I go? Can I get back in line?
back?
Can I come back in line? And the best part is that we don't remember it's just erased for us. So we're going, oh, yeah. It's just a whole new thing.
What about the children, the babies, the people that are sexually abused? You think they're choosing to come?
I know, that's the thing that gets me twisted about the whole thing. That literally makes me sick to my stomach.
Right,
Literally
right.
makes me want to cry and hide in a hole, but it also makes me want to pick up a sword and defend and fight for those souls, and I don't know. If you think about that, like, why would a good
Uh,
omnipotent being let that happen?
well, that's where I guess we different. When I read the Pistis Sophia and the Book of Enoch, did you get that ice there?
Yeah. Patricia, I've read Pistis Sophia. Now I have to read the Book of Enoch again because
Well, that tells the whole story of
yeah.
the fallen angels. It's
Yeah.
not a pretty story.
No, it's not. No, but you
No,
know what? The Old Testament's not a pretty story either. I
no,
mean, none of
no.
it. In the New Testament, it's like, okay, God really did all this evil shit. We're going to make it nice. Jesus loves you. Everything is cool.
Well, it's not. It's not that he did it. It's like this source, okay? And he created Jesus first. That's the idea that I get. And Jesus, as a result of that, everything else that came into play was kind of his. But there was also these different realms. He calls them mysteries. There are 24 of them, 24. And there is a particular realm or level where entities can, like, it's almost like they can come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
They can create themselves, which is what the situation was with the one we call the devil. That's not his real name, okay? And Princess Sophia was there when that happened. He is the one that pushed out and said, I am God. There is no other God before me, blah, 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 blah. And they told him, well, no, you're not. But he didn't, he didn't
Nope.
seem to get offended, like the Bible kind of tells us.
Right.
So he is able, he's dual sex, right? Male
Yep.
and female.
Right.
And able to recreate. And he came down, after he created the sphere, and he wanted to create something on his own because he was arrogant. She helped him. He created it, had it on the ground. And now this is in another book. This is not in the Pistis Sophia, where he couldn't get us off the ground. He had the whole thing going. The crime she did was she literally helped him get us up off the ground. And we were crude and horrid looking.
Right.
Okay. The problem started when he created Eve and they started to have sex. And there were other entities that saw that, angels, which are above this they have nothing to do with him, but they have a freer reign. They started coming down according to the Book of Enoch and dealing with the women, but they literally were tearing the bodies apart because they were too powerful to be entering us like that, right?
Right.
So they literally, it's like they had a meeting and decided they wanted to be down here and dealing with the sex and the whole thing so much that they gave up their position. They
left their realm. They came back down and they can't go back up.
They cannot go back.
Wow.
So now if you think about that group of people down here trying to figure out how to make the body live forever, freezing the head so you can put it on another body if it comes back around, sticking needles in everybody, drawing blood, cutting bodies open, the whole 9 yards, right? There's only one group of people, indigenous people, never done that.
No.
We've
lost our connection to the planet and to the spirit. I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
I do.
So it's jumping into a subject just in terms of how deeply embedded this, what's the word? This, not trickery, but this
Deception
has gone. There is a church in France, okay, where they have 2 versions of the Madonna.
Really?
They allow, when white people come, they pull out the white one.
Really?
But when they're not there, they worship the black one.
What? The Black Madonna. I think I've read about this.
Well, the Black Madonna is hanging over the Pope's chair, or it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Why does the Pope wear red shoes too? That was always.
I don't know.
That's a long story.
Who knows? Yeah.
But there's the Black Madonna. That's just
the name of that book is You got to get this one too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a white couple that wrote this because they went to see and they were shocked that this was going on. They got there and they wanted to see the Black Madonna, and they told them that we don't bring that out for tourists.
Wow, what the hell?
It's called the Black Madonna and Christ, what the Da Vinci files didn't tell you.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
But
amazing.
so I'm just talking about deception.
Yeah,
You know, what the hell is that?
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Jean-Luc and I did a video on Christmas. Christmas. Well, it was Christmas. Yeah, it was right before Christmas. Jean-Luc and I did a video,
You
and
might get killed if you were in this video on Twitter.
I know I got the church coming for me. I got the government coming for me.
Oh
Patricia,
my God.
Patricia, I'm gonna have to call you out. If anybody comes down my block that I don't know, I'm just gonna I'm gonna call you. They're
gonna think we've gone insane.
So Jean-Luc and I were talking about. Did you see the Vatican's nativity scene this year? Oh my God, we did a video about it. It was like space aliens.
Excuse me.
It was space aliens.
Excuse me.
No, it's okay. It was like literally astronauts all around the nativity, and they had lightning bolts shooting out of them going into other ones. And that was in front of the Vatican. I swear to God, I swear, that's what it was.
How did I miss that?
Yeah, I will send it to you. I'll show you. We did a video about it. It's the most amazingly bizarre thing. And then Jean-Luc told me that earlier in the spring of last year, that there's so many people leaving the Catholic Church. This is our theory. There's so many people leaving the Catholic Church that they're trying to bring in the old pagan beliefs. That they brought down some pagan idols. I can't remember what it was right now. If it was Brazil or Argentina. But they brought down these pagan idols, and they brought them down into the Vatican, and they prayed them. It was like a pregnant woman. It was like an idol of a pregnant woman, and there was like some other things, and they brought them down, and we're just like, yep, the Catholic Church recognizes
That was
these
last
things.
year?
Yes, 2020. Yeah, it was just like the most bizarre thing ever. And Jean-Luc was theorizing, and we were talking about it. He's like, they're trying to bring everybody back to the Catholic Church because everybody's like going to their most native or historical beliefs. Like, we're not going to believe in the Catholic Church. We're going to believe in this idol. There's pagan, this pagan thing, and they're like bringing it down the road. And then they had this crazy electric astronaut nativity, and it's like, what the fuck? Seriously, in the video, I'm like, what the actual fuck is this? Like, look at this. This is the nativity for 2020. It's like astronauts and lightning bolts and like a cow. It's just the most.
So the whole nativity Jesus thing wasn't there, or that was?
Oh, that was there. I'm gonna pull it up right now. I gotta find it, and I'm just gonna have to show you because this is the most bizarre. This is like you can't even make it up. And we were talking about what are they actually doing? Like, what are they doing? Like, what is their plan? Like what? Like, did somebody go, yeah, let's just dust this off? And like, I think what they said was it was like 1967. They commissioned somebody because of the moon landing thing, and they were trying to bring that back because of and it was just like the most bullshit excuse I've ever heard in my life. It was.
What, about 15 years ago, maybe the Pope, the other Pope, I think he died, came out and said that Mary Magdalene was not a prostitute.
Right.
And then they had a contest where they wanted people to draw her, and they chose the one that was a Black woman.
Good.
So I mean, it's like they're just little by little peeling back this onion or these layers,
Yeah, well, I think they're doing a lot quicker now, though. They're like,
Right.
oh, we better figure this. People are figuring this shit out.
You got what? Was it 6,000 past Pope priests that were accused of sexual abuse?
Jesus. I say that lightly, but not because Jesus. I mean,
That's a lot.
it just makes me so angry.
You know.
Okay, so here's this.
What the heck?
This is December, December 2019. So they were in, I don't know, we're talking. I muted it because Jean-Luc and I were talking, but this was the idol they brought down. And here we go. Here's the December 11th nativity scene, Christmas. This 2020 or 2020. Check it out.
How did I miss this?
Look at this.
Oh my goodness. Christmas display. How did I miss this?
Look at the lightning bolt and look at this weird shit. Look at the astronaut over to the left.
Right there?
Mm-hmm. I'll go back because Jean-Luc, I love that guy, but I'll pause it for you. Look at this thing. You see this?
I mean, and what was the explanation?
I don't know. Whatever the explanation was is bullshit. But I mean, like, look at that. I mean, what doesn't make any sense to me?
It doesn't. That is so weird.
That was December. That was this past December.
This past December.
Yes.
Maybe
yes,
they had the COVID.
Yeah. They had something. They had something.
I'm surprised this wasn't all over the news.
I mean, look at it. What are they doing?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Jesus is in the red bucket down there. I think it's the only place I can figure out. But there's lightning bolts coming out of astronauts, and like, you know, look at this. It just I mean,
I haven't even seen anything like that thing in the middle ever.
No, yeah. And then like Jean-Luc and I don't know if you.
What's going on with the boat?
I don't know. It just doesn't. This is Jean-Luc and I talking. Blah blah blah. Well, I'll play it back. Maybe it'll make sense if it's.
Starts to become turmoil. At the same time,
I don't know if you can hear it.
You got church scandals. You then got the fact that the Vatican and the Pope are allowing pagan idols that come from South America to be dragged down through the Vatican.
And they're actually,
so like pagan idols from South America to be dragged down through the Vatican is what he's saying here.
Ceremonies and blessed.
Ceremonies, and they're blessing these idols.
That would never happen ever in the past.
He's like, this would never ever happen in the past.
Wow.
You know, this is it again here. This is the unveiling, December 11th, 2020, of the nativity scene for the Vatican.
That is crazy. That's wild. That's wilder than anything I've seen in the sky.
It is, isn't it? It is.
God.
What is that?
I don't know. That's confusion.
Why?
You know,
I don't see a manger. I don't see a bunch of white people that shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I'm not. It's true. It's true. The thing that this is completely off base, and I hope you don't take offense to this whatsoever. But when I was a kid, we didn't have anything, right? Obviously, nothing. We grew up garage sales. We went to garage sales and flea markets, and that's how we got everything. And my life, I grew up going to garage sales, and going to people's homes, and buying clothes and things like that. And I remember being a really young kid and going into black people's houses and seeing Black Jesus hanging on the wall. It's funny, but it's not. No, but serious.
Right. You're like, what the hell is that?
I remember having a conversation with my dad going, so we have a different Jesus? Like, I don't know.
Did they ever give you an answer for that?
No, nobody could give you an answer to that. Even as a kid, they're just like, shut up and go home, kid. Nobody gives you an answer. And I understand, and then you go into somebody who's Asian or Chinese, and there's Chinese Jesus in that house.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of Jesus.
Yeah.
But I mean, It's amazing, isn't it? It's like, I don't think nobody got that right.
No,
White people didn't get it right. I'm just saying, I don't think anyone got it right.
the Bible describes them as having woolly hair and skin like burnt copper.
Well, there you go.
I mean, not to say that, okay, so everything's black and forget about it, guys. So I'm not getting there. I'm just saying that sometimes I think that you guys have been duped the hardest.
I think so too.
Yeah. And it's obvious that something or someone set aside a group of people that it felt it could count on and depend on to carry out whatever its agenda was. And if the Bible has any truth of it in it, that agenda is the guy that's created us only had 1,000 years left. So he was trying really hard to figure out what he could do
to make it work.
Yeah, to make this work in his favor. And so the general idea seems to be that if he doesn't make it out of here, nobody is.
Wow. I like that.
Jesus's plan, really literally, when I read the Pistis Sophia, I get a picture of Jesus standing around like with a big catcher's mitt trying to catch souls. Because he says if he didn't flip the poles, that more souls would be lost. He would lose more souls. So every soul, and goodness gracious, he took about 5 million this time, abruptly.
Right.
Because that that's the time must be running out.
Yeah, I think it's happening now.
Yeah. And he may only have so much time because this has to be destroyed.
It's a cycle.
There's no two ways about it. If evil is trapped down here, as it appears to be, and they keep trying to put everybody through a sieve and see who he can save and who cannot be saved. And after a certain point, they're going to have to destroy this. They can't take a chance on us with this evil vein, this evil strain. And this is all of us, black and white too. They can't take a chance on us contaminating anything else with our thoughts and our flesh and these behaviors, that we don't have control over. Was that Paul said, what the hell is it? Everything I think I want to do. And now we're talking about Paul saying he can't control,
No.
And so I think it's such a vastly different story than if you do this and that and the other, you're going to go to heaven. Not happening. No, not happening. And have you ever read the arcane teachings?
I have not.
Oh, what is that symbol behind you? The Mason there?
Yeah, I'm a Freemason.
Well, what do you guys do?
I don't know.
You should know all of this shit.
I know
all of this shit and you don't.
Yeah. No.
Well, arcane teachers will blow your fucking mind.
I bet.
Now this is another. Let's see, who's this guy? I forgot. I've got so much of this shit on here.
Oh my god. No, I'm a 32nd. I'm a 32nd degree Freemason. I'm a Rosicrucian. I'm a Rosicrucian. I'm a Shriner.
Don't know shit.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I had to say that.
You did.
You set yourself up.
Yeah. It was like a T-ball. I put it around the T-ball thing and just boom, right out of the park. Patricia Avant.
I'm sorry.
Another grand slam.
I'm sorry.
Freemason don't know shit. You know I love you, right?
You know I do. I love you too. I'm telling you, you are just my guy.
Oh God, I can't wait till this COVID shit's over. We're gonna hang out so hard.
Is it ever?
I don't know. My parents both got the shot. They got 2 shots. My sister, who's in education, got both shots, and she's okay. But I don't know how long it lasts. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know.
Are you going to get them?
I don't know. I'm so down in the totem pole that I don't know. I mean, it's going to be what, October before.
So what if they have like a list or something?
I thought they were doing in Ohio. I thought they were doing by age. I thought they were doing like 80, like anybody 90 and then 80 and then 70 and then 60 and then.
Why the hell are they trying to save 90-year-olds? I never understood that.
I don't know.
No.
I just, want to give up at that point. I mean,
yeah, why wouldn't
unless you're like
ready
running
to
through the
go?
streets and being, cool about it, but I don't know. I mean, my grandmother just passed. She was 93. She was awesome. But I had a great uncle Joe who was 100 and drove the biggest Cadillac I ever saw in my life, and he was cool. He was 100. He was driving a car around.
Oh, you're going to be here for a while.
I hope. That's what I keep saying. I'm like, with medicine and everything, I'm going to be like 140 going, why am I still here? I'm going to be talking to you on this Zoom thing going, Patricia, is this thing on? I don't even know. Is this?
No, I'll be signaling you from up there.
Yeah, I'd be dropping these orbs in my lap, and I'll be like, I just can't take it.
Here, John.
Here you go. Again. I don't know. It's a wild ride. I'm just glad we're in it together. I mean,
yeah. But I haven't really been paying because I don't plan to get it, so I don't know how they're distributing it. But I didn't know it was going that way. I thought everybody was just going and get it over with.
No, in Ohio anyway, they were doing it that way, where it's like you're this age and you can do it, and you're this age and you can do it, and then they had like all the teachers did it, and then I think this past Friday. They had their second round, like they took the kids out. The kids didn't have school, so all the teachers in Ohio went and got their second round. So they're trying to do it in phases so they can get out there. But hell, I don't know. I mean,
it's very bizarre, isn't it?
It's just the whole thing is just it's really, really weird. I mean, you could have told me that zombies were going to attack, and I would have been more believed than this. And
hold on now.
6 months later, the next chat we have is just, we knew there were zombies coming. No, but I mean, the whole thing is just, I think that whatever it is trying to wake us up.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
It's my only theory. That
why it would be here and come the way it did. I don't know. Well, I read in Science Encyclopedia back in the 70s, they were giving them free away if you bought so much grocery. And I got A, that's as far as I got for my son. But the interesting part, and we're talking about the 70s, was that they had developed here in the United States already chemical warfare to the degree that they could drop a specific chemical in a Hispanic neighborhood that would wipe out 16-year-olds.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
In other words, it was that specific. They could go to any area.
And just 16-year-old Hispanics would die.
16-year-old Hispanics or 16-year-old African Americans or whatever group they wanted to target.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was in the 70s. And what's bizarre about that to me is not just that it was the timing, but that they actually wrote it and said for you to read it.
Wow. That's amazing.
So there's no telling what they're doing here.
No. That's the thing when you talk about the phenomenon too. And, people on Twitter have been talking about this and it's a thing. It's like, well, why are they not coming out and telling us? If they wanted to land on, like you said, if they just land on the lawn and tell you what's going on, it's like, well, maybe they're manipulating us for their own purpose. Like maybe they're doing the things that you need to do. Maybe they're making me talk about this shit. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe they're doing whatever they're doing, like they're the people that are Hollywood or the people that are musicians or people, like people that just kind of get into the mainstream thing, like whatever. This is their like weaving game forever, for millennia. Like, well, this is just their fun. Like, maybe this is their idea of us going to the carnival, like if we, you know what I mean? Like, seriously.
No, I had thought that this was a board game and the players are Jesus, the devil, and some other guys we don't know because they lost. And it's down to these two, just like a big chessboard. And when you lose, you have to set aside a group of people and then the other something. I mean, it's really open to debate, right?
Yeah, no, totally. I know. I think that when you said that before, that like we don't have to come back here. I think it really touched me because I think like, man, I've always thought that. I've always thought we don't have to come back here, but we do. We come back, and I think that we choose to. At some point, we like, well, I got to.
Yeah. Well, if you got, I hate. I'm just throwing more books at you.
I got a stack now, Patricia.
The arcane teachings is actually something out of the Freemasons, and what's the other one? The
Rosicrucians.
Yeah, they're a big part of that.
Yeah, we believe in the immortality of the soul and the all these other things that are.
Well, they speak about the fact that if it has to do with the level of consciousness. If you don't develop your level of consciousness, you have a great fear of death and all of that. And when you die, you do your best to flip back around. You know, and he says that, at least, but if I understand it correctly, that the higher your level of consciousness, if you choose to come back down, you can choose your parents. You can choose a whole lot of things that would make it where you just don't even be involved with this crazy shit that's going on.
Oh, well, that'd be cool.
Know?
Maybe that's what I did.
Are you a prodigy?
I don't know.
Because I think that's what prodigies are. I think
No, I'm not that smart.
High levels, degrees of consciousness. They maybe go back, they go up somewhere, they decide they want to, for instance, study nothing but what makes music.
Right. They
And
just come down like they become Mozart. And then
then you got some 2-year-old sitting at the thing, you know?
Right.
And so that makes sense to me.
Oh, yeah, that does.
You know?
And reincarnation makes sense to me, too. I know we're talking a lot about that, but I mean, like, just the stuff you see out of India where the kids come back and they're like, yeah, I got murdered. I'm like, what? Yeah, I got murdered and they have like scars when they're born or like birthmarks in their head. And like, yeah, I got shot by this guy and he lives down the road. And they go down the road and there's like the guy that's there.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many of that shit. And in the Western world, we're like, what? Like,
well, Jesus says it right there in the Pistis Sophia. He's telling them that if you can wrap, literally, I'm paraphrasing, but he's telling them, if you can wrap your head around it, I went and found the soul of Elias and put that in the body of John the Baptist. So that's reincarnation right there. Boom. But what I want to know is, he's got like a bucket of souls? Where do these souls hang out? You know, when they're
bucketofsouls.com. We got Pistis Sophia, bucketofsouls.com. Patricia Avant. We got Saturday night. Bring your bucket of souls. But seriously, you're right. Where are they hanging out? Right. They're hanging out in those realms that we can't see. They're hanging out right here next to us. Honestly, that's probably what it is. They're just sitting here laughing at us,
right?
Because they're just like, well, these people. I don't even know.
I want to see you get this up on YouTube.
Oh my God! All I ask is that I got a white Jesus hanging down here in a. That's right. I do. Honestly, my grandmother passed. I love her to death. She was 93, but I grew up my whole life with a white Jesus. I'm gonna send it to you, but only if you send me a black Jesus in return. So,
oh God! Well, I'd have to paint one.
Oh, yeah, no. I just can't believe it. One of my favorite T-shirts I bought was Jesus riding a Triceratops. Because I was just like, it's just the most absurd thing ever. I don't know.
I've seen some things. I tell you, I would like to be there the day that some of these people end up back.
I know.
So that T-shirt you had there.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for putting that on, you dumbass. Now I can go 400 more times back on Earth. There you go.
But you know, it's interesting. My grandmother was a Jehovah's Witness. Mm-hmm. And when we used to go to church there with her, in Chicago, and there was a specific time for white people to come.
What?
And a specific time for black people to come.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Literally shocked. I have no idea. I didn't know
Well,
there was a.
they still are pretty segregated in that way, where you have the black kingdom halls in the black neighborhoods,
What?
and they, yeah, you didn't know that.
No, I. Why is
Yeah.
God racist? I don't.
Well, it's not God, it's the people.
Yeah, the people. That's just such bullshit. I do
So,
not.
but we're talking about indoctrination. Or where we, or I was thinking about it. Maybe
You were thinking about it. Yeah, you were just telling me about the. Yeah.
I remember when I turned about 15.
Mm-hmm.
In Chicago, the black Muslims were on the rise, right?
Oh, okay.
Everything was black Jesus,
Farrakhan and
white hair. Well, no, not Farrakhan. He hadn't come on the scene. This was
Okay.
when Elijah Muhammad was
Oh,
around.
gotcha.
And so that's when the concept of a black Jesus really came into the black community.
Really?
The whole idea of it, yeah. And I remember my grandmother, who of course had the white Jesus in her house.
Right.
When we started talking about that, and she was furious.
Really?
Oh my God, you could not convince her that Jesus was anything other than white. That's how deeply embedded that was. You would think she would be hurrah a little bit, just a little bit,
Right.
But
she was just upset about it.
She would not let us talk about it in her house. Wow. She was that upset about it, So, this thing that is on us, this whole planet, these lies and these half truths and these, you don't know what it's deep.
Well, we talked about it before, and it's such bullshit that they just try to divide us. We talked about this in our first video, and I've talked about it all the time. It's just such bullshit.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're black, you're white, you're Asian, you're Latino, you're gay, you're straight, you're whatever.
You're not white.
Yeah.
You're pink. I'm brown.
It's all pink on the inside, right? That's what
That's true.
It's true.
But it's so, because even that, when I grew up, to call somebody black, you would get a fist in your face. You call somebody a black nigger, your black ass, you would get beat down, And so all of a sudden then, we are changed from colored people to black people, which could not possibly have been our idea, because it's not something, but now it's such there are African Americans that you cannot bring that fact to them. You're not black, you're brown. Well, it's something we say, it's stuck. Now it's like they're stuck in a loop.
It's stuck like your grandma was with the white Jesus.
Exactly. So you try to sneak that POC in there and it's a mess, And then whatever they were trying to do, they've done a good job.
They've done a really good job. And, Reagan said that thing in the 80s, and it's a big famous thing that said, like, the only thing that would, unite humanity would be a threat from outside of our world.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, he said that in the UN.
Yeah,
he was like, and he said, isn't there already a threat among us? And he said that, and it was like a thing. But, I mean, like, if you think about that, if something, and even if it was staged, and I hate to say this, but I mean, it's a possibility, right? That the world powers could stage an invasion, right? Where we would all join up together as humans, black, white, whatever, against something else.
Yeah.
And then it's just the duality again. It's just us against them again,
I think that's basically what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at CERN.
Yeah.
And these people spent 60 years building this thing.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And it didn't do shit.
Well, if it did, they didn't tell us. That's the other part.
They finally made a documentary called CERN and something of beauty, where they go through all this stuff and they show you how it's built, and they're riding tricycles and stuff. And at the end, they say that in words, nobody says it, none of the theories were proven.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
So it didn't do anything, but then you find out that these things are all over the planet.
The CERN things?
Yeah, they've been building the particle colliders since the 40s.
Wow.
And they built one in Texas. They were trying to do in Texas what they did in Switzerland with this huge one, but they wouldn't allow them. So there's this big gaping hole in Texas,
There's nothing going on.
right, that they wouldn't let them finish it.
Whoa.
So, and I remember finding out about CERN, and I was all up in arms thinking, wow, they're building this big old thing, only to find out, of course, through Wiki, that they're all over the planet.
Wow. That's amazing.
Smaller versions.
I didn't. I mean, I knew there were smaller ones, but I didn't know they were all over. There's some weird stuff too that goes into that, where they talked about like nuclear things that bring UFOs, right? Any type of nuclear plant, any type of nuclear anything.
Yeah, shutting them down.
Yeah, shutting them down, or they just show up over
Right.
anything. Like nuclear power plant, nuclear sub, nuclear aircraft, anything nuclear. They're there, right? And forgive me, because I like I said, I get into some weird shit, but they were saying that anytime you detonate a nuclear bomb, you're basically creating a wormhole. And there's wormholes or portals all over the planet, all over the universe. And these wormholes or portals basically can transport you from anywhere to anywhere in the universe. And there's a bunch of them already on the planet that are naturally existing or whatever. But every time we blow up something, it creates another one.
That's weird.
Yeah. So when you think about it that way, that
They're going to throw us down a wormhole.
well, I mean, I think they're trying to use it. I think they're doing it. There's a in John Luke and Jay and Jay has a guy that who's supposedly a government guy who's been giving him information. His name's Holden, is what he goes by. And there's a thing called Dark on Netflix. It's a German show, but they dubbed it in English. So the words, you're talking and it's in English, but it's so crazy. But this guy Holden, supposedly he's a government, CIA, NSA, whatever, one of those agencies, was a advisor for all 3 seasons of it. And this whole thing is just the most bizarre thing ever, where it's basically there's a wormhole in a cave, and time isn't linear, time is a loop. And the governments have basically figured out how to exploit it and use it, but it never really works out the way that they want it to. Right. It's just the most crazy thing ever. And if you go into the Manhattan Project and Montauk and New Jersey and all those things where they're trying to like actually do this stuff with time and space, and it's like maybe CERN, maybe if they figured it out, maybe they've screwed it up. I don't know. It gets weird, right?
I'm being weirded out by the moment.
I'm sorry.
No, not in that sense. It's just, you have this idea that, and don't you be offended.
I don't think you can offend me.
That white people, I've always thought white people knew everything, that all white people knew. Not everything, but they knew what was going on, I guess. You know what I mean?
You should have never gave us money.
That money will do it, won't it?
Yeah. Oh, that Dave Chappelle was right. Fuck your couch. That's what. You should have never gave us money. That's seriously it.
Yeah, it's just interesting that. I guess that when you really boils down to it, nobody knows what the hell's going on.
Nobody knows what the hell's going on. But like me and you can have a connection where we meet, and I feel like I can hang out with you for the rest of my life.
We've known each other, right?
Forever. Yeah, like me and you have been through this shit a bunch of times, and thank God we found each other again. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like that with a bunch of people in my life.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I can talk to you. I can tell you everything I can possibly tell you. I can share my heart, my soul, and everything. And you would do the same. And I would take off my jacket and give it to you. And I would jump in front of a bullet for you. And I would do that. You know what I mean? Honestly, I love you. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's how I feel with
Feel
people.
connected. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's a
And-
connection there, and most people don't have. And I feel really sad for people that don't have that. There's a lot of people that
Yeah.
don't. There's
Well,
more people that don't have that than they're due, right?
it's rare. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's not an easy thing. You know, I'm definitely a loner. I rarely talk like this with anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I've never talked like this with anybody in my family. And God forbid I should talk like this with my ex-husband. You know, it's just a weird thing. I would never have thought, but I have to tell you, and I think I did tell you, when I was hesitant when you asked me to interview.
Yeah.
And not just because you look so straight laced in that picture.
That's because they told me to go like this. They're like, stand up, look over there, and smile.
You know, but when I listened to you and your other friends talk, then
Yeah.
I thought, okay, they're cool. You know, it's just a weird thing. I still, bottom line, I don't know what the fuck those things are that I'm seeing. I'm sorry if I'm cursing.
No,
This
just
is residual cursing because the other guy wouldn't let me curse on his show.
You know what he does have is he doesn't
Yeah.
have this shit. You know what? Take him outside. Can you see this right here?
You're right.
Look at next time this shit happens. Go, hey man, go look outside.
God.
Look at number 25. That is the.
Look at that shit.
What
is that?
What is it?
And that was in the sky.
I don't understand how it does that. It looks like every time I try to think I know what it is, I don't.
I
You know what I
don't
mean?
either.
Like
And
I don't
the
know
thing
what that is.
Originally, all I see was the line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the glowing line. That's one of the rare ones that had the vein. There's another one. I think it's I don't know what number it is, but it has a white band around it, and that's all I saw until I kind of lightened it up a little bit.
Because you lighten this one up a little bit.
I had
yeah,
to.
you had
because
to. Right.
all I saw was that thing there. When I saw the rest of it, it shocked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, how could this be in the sky? And there's no way nobody else didn't see this. Hubble saw it.
Right. Something saw it.
Something saw that. I'm not the only person that saw that. I refuse to believe that.
Have you seen any airplane? I've never asked you this, but have you seen any like aircraft anywhere near any of this shit when you're doing this?
Nothing. No.
Like no planes like going overhead or no helicopters, nothing.
Our plane? No.
Wow.
Nothing. Not it's.
It's
Now
so
see,
bizarre.
watch it. Look at the front of it, where it looks like windows in the front. I mean, look at that.
I done this. It's
What
like it's
the
seeping.
hell is that?
It's seeping into our realm or something, right? Like it's
I
just
don't know.
it's just hanging out, and it doesn't give a shit if we're here or not.
But it goes from a complete rock to that,
That's just really weird.
or it looks like a rock.
Well, I swear, to me, it feels like it's pulsating. And maybe it's just because of the rainbow of colors that are circulating through it. You know what I mean? Like the.
And all of them do that, and you know they do
Yeah.
that. Every single one of them. Well, not every single one. Some of them have a lower level pulsating than this one, but this one, yeah, it was
It was on
flashing
fire.
every color of the rainbow and more.
Yeah, this is. I mean, look at the progression here. I mean, I think you slowed it down a little bit. You brightened it up, but it just. To me, it feels like it's alive.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, that's
Now, what do you mean alive? Like it's a entity itself and not a machine of some sort?
Well, so. You see, like the wispy things that are like close to the top that are coming down and in and in.
Right
and
here?
out. Yeah, like the where the thick part is, it kind of drops down and it kind of comes back and it kind of goes back, like tentacles or something to me. But, and when I look at it, there's a really weird thing, and this is a true thing where there's a guy that came out, and I'll have to find it, but excuse me, I'm starting to sound like Barry White. I got enough cold going on in me here that I'm like,
How did you catch a cold?
and that's what I'm saying during the pandemic. I don't know. I might have the Rona and I might die. This might be your last interview. This might be the last time I talk to a human.
That's not even funny.
It isn't, but I love you, so I'm just
I
telling
love
you
you
that
too,
right now.
so
Just bring me back.
alrighty.
When I come, just bring me back to the other side. But seriously, I don't know.
A little voodoo.
Yeah, voodoo that you do. My daughter's 3. I don't know. She licks her hand and she puts it on my face, and I'm like, that's cool. So that's probably how I got a cold.
There you go.
So this thing might cure my cold, though. I'm positive if I put my face into this rainbow thing, I would either be dead or completely healed. But to me, it's like, how does it do that? I don't know. To me, it feels like it's just like, you ever seen those cuttlefish or the squid when they just and they go like crazy, all different colors?
Yeah.
Kind of, to me, it feels like that. So there, I was going back. So there's this guy that came out with a thing that he was talking about that was 40 years ago or 30 years ago, that they were using organic computers. So it was like some kind of organic based organism that had some computing thing in it, and they were using them for like communications. And then there's this other thing that I saw where they were talking about building aircraft, not by manufacturing, but like vats of organic molecules and cells and all this stuff, and like boiling it in this thing and growing an aircraft out of organic and electronic material.
Would people be able to get inside of them, or they just?
Yeah. It's like so the craft is a living being, like a living entity. Like it's like you grow it out of living cells and parts.
Material, yeah.
And it's conscious. So.
Well, this thing is definitely moving.
Mm-hmm.
So it's. I guess you have to have some kind of conscious to move, right?
Yeah.
No, not necessarily.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing was that I've read too, and I've heard is that these ships that crash, that there's no controls, and then the hardest time that people are trying to figure out how they work is like, how do you fly this? You're used to having a steering wheel or a control stick, and the secret, but they're conscious. The craft is conscious, and you have to connect your consciousness to it to be able to manipulate it.
Steer it, of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe this is that. Maybe this is,
all I know is the guy this afternoon that was
talking shit.
Yeah, when he didn't even mention this. The only thing he said when he came back was, "Well, I can't tell you anything about him because I don't know who did it, what the camera was, where you were, and blah 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 blah."
Right. I can't say it either. But I mean, but then you look at that, it's like,
well, what kind of shape is that?
I don't
Look
know.
at the things in the middle there.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that? What kind of shape is that?
I don't know.
And then watch it change. To me, the shape that it changed to, I remember thinking, I don't know why I thought that was beautiful. But
it
I
is.
did.
It just.
Not this, but when it changes into the shape where it almost looks, I don't know, from here, that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just interesting to me.
You're right. The first shot looked like a garden hose, like you said.
Yeah, it looked like a garden hose or something.
Right.
And then what the hell is that? Watch it stretch back. Keep stretching.
Yeah.
And then those things light up.
They're definite points of light. It's just, and the thing is just so vibrant.
Yeah.
It's not red. It's not blue. It's not yellow. It's just
every
purple.
color.
It's every color.
And
Now in the camera, do you see the colors in the actual camera? Yeah.
Have you ever seen the ball ones? A lot of people have put these up on YouTube.
Yeah,
Where
yeah. Just shimmers with every like boom.
every single color you could think
Yeah.
of.
And this where it just elongates at the bottom or on the
Yeah.
right. It's just and it goes
It's-
down. Look at that.
and I mean, it's just changing right before your eyes.
and you can see the bottom of the bottom of the thing where it's got the brighter point of light at the bottom. There's like
Yeah.
a couple, 2 or 3 going up that are just like nodules. I don't know. They just look like bright too. They're going up at.
Yeah. And on the vast majority of them, and then this,
What is it?
I don't know. And they shake like that. I'm not shaking.
They're doing it.
Some of them move or shake violently when they're changing shapes, and others kind of do a gradual shake. But that's not me shaking at all. No.
That's not you trying to put it in the frame. That's them
No,
doing
no,
it.
that's
Wow.
it's shaking like that. It shakes like that until the shape changes.
Wow. So it's like
Yeah,
it vibrates until it gets to the
And
point where it
this
changes.
This is slowed down. If you see the original one,
Right.
it's really a real warp looking
Right.
thing.
To me, is it a hoop?
No.
I don't know.
Why did I see this?
I don't know. What did you feel when you saw this? What was you?
This was the one that scared me.
This actually scared you. This one.
Yeah, because as it changed and the thing looked like a face and it was moving closer.
Oh, so it was coming actually at you.
Yeah, because I
Oh.
could only zoom out to, I think it's like 200 or something, and that was that. And so every time you see it getting closer, it was moving
Towards
that.
you.
Yeah, from wherever it was.
So you were like, okay, it's getting too comfortable.
Yeah, and then I could say it got to be completely dark, and I thought it was gone.
And it was still there when you blew
it
up,
was
when
still
you got the
there.
light on the,
Yep.
and lightened up the film.
It was there looking at me.
Wow. So how long do you think this whole thing is from the time you started filming until it went away?
This one I think is might be 9 or 10 minutes. The whole thing,
And that was it. It was just
it
boom.
sped up. Yeah, it just backed away.
And then after, so it did. So when it got closer to you, it just,
Oh yeah, it just went out of, just right where it was, just disappeared.
wow. That's amazing because you can see
wouldn't
there's no
it-
other bright parts in the sky. There's no other lights. There's no other stars that are in the way. There's not any
Look at
aircraft.
that.
Nothing. It's
What
just
is this?
it does look like it's looking at you.
Yeah. Like maybe that thing came out of there and was looking at me.
Yeah.
And then it's going to smooth all the way over into a flat like that. All of that just disappears.
So like right now in the viewfinder, was it gone for you? Like right here?
It was gone.
You didn't see it.
I did not see anything, but I had learned to just keep,
Staying where you were at. Yeah.
because I would think after a while, one of the red balls would show up. But no, this showed up.
Hey, thanks, face guy, for showing up. Wow. That's what Chris Bledsoe, I mean, every time if you've seen his videos, and he puts a lot on Facebook too, but he's always thanking him. No, he's always like, thank you for coming out. He's like, thank you. And it's interesting. He's always really grateful for the experience and thanking him. And
Why are they giving him such a hard time now?
oh, we could talk about 4 hours about that if you want. It's
It's
just
like they believe. I'm waiting. I know my time is coming where I'm going to go on Twitter one day and there's going to be a whole big batch of negativity because that's just the way it happens.
Yeah.
But because he was going along fine, and then all of a sudden, now everybody's saying that he's lying.
Well, I don't know. I think it just goes back to nobody wants to believe.
Nobody. Yeah.
The government doesn't think he's lying. because they're there.
True. So
And
who are these other people? Mufron, and they're the ones that are.
I don't know. I think it goes back to those two. So even you got the government, and you got the government. And this part of the government thinks they want to have the end times come, and this part thinks that it's not. And I think that so it's these two people are just still fighting with each other. So,
Well, I guess you're right about that, because technically that's what's going on in the White House too. You got the Republicans that are evangelical. Are they in that number?
I think I have no idea. To me, that whole thing is still, well, going back to the Mason thing, and I tell this to people, that the first third party in the United States was the anti-Masonic party. So you had the Republicans and the Democrats, and the third party was the anti-Masonic party, because there were so many Freemasons in the Republican and the Democratic Party that somebody came out and was like, hey, I'm not a Freemason, vote for me. So it's just the same coin. This is what we were talking about before. Like, hey, you're the good guy, I'm the bad guy. Let's go close the door, and we're all going to just drink together and have fun. But I'm going to come out, and you're going to be the bad guy this time, and I'm going to be the bad guy. And then that's just the way it works. And it's just a bunch of old white dudes that need to get the fuck out of there, in my opinion.
Well, true story. I worked at the Masonic Temple in Detroit.
Oh, that's a beautiful place, isn't it?
The Phantom of the Opera was there, right?
Yeah.
And so I had a boss. My boss, she was a young white lady. She was really cool too.
Yeah.
And one of the security guys was liking her, so he wanted to take her through a tour of the building. And she didn't want to go by herself. So he comes to get her, and he's already, and she says, okay, come on, Patricia. And you should have seen the look on his face, but he couldn't say no, right?
Right. Yeah.
So we go up through the building, and we went into the part where they had the, I guess it's kind of like the grave. There was a balcony row of seats, a large red cross, not red, a lit cross with light bulbs in it. And when you looked down, there was a hole with a door.
Oh, yeah.
And he could have gotten in trouble for showing this, couldn't he? Yeah, I mean, he took us everywhere. But
there's
a swimming pool in there.
Wow.
That they put in there. This is why I wonder about the Freemasons. Okay. They built the pool.
Yeah.
Without understanding how much the water would affect the building.
Oh,
so
the weight
pool
and everything.
has never been used.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah. Figures.
Yeah. So he drug us through the whole building. I wondered if he got fired for that.
Nah, I mean, there's so much that is the biggest, I think, the largest in the United States. It may even be the world. Yeah, I think so. And you know who Jack White is from the White Stripes, the rock band? He's a white guy.
Yeah.
He's a Freemason, and I think about 2008, 9, the Masonic Temple, they were behind on their taxes. And they were going to lose the building because of that. And he wrote a check for like $300,000.
Wow.
And paid for the taxes, because that's a historic building. That's like 18 something. It's beautiful. I mean, they have lots of concerts and things like that in there.
They used to, and then they stopped.
I think it was the whole tax thing, and I'm not sure what else was going on, but I think they even had it at one point that was like a hotel, like if you could go and stay there. I think I could be wrong, but it was so big. I think that
it's
they actually
possible.
And I think in like the early 1900s or 1800s and something like that. But it's massive. It's really, really big. They did that, and it's just beautiful and beautiful. I haven't got actually in there myself. I've seen tours, like video tours of it, but it's huge, right? I mean,
it's very. I was surprised. So many back ways that you could go through there. Like I said, I was working. The Phantom of the Opera was there, so we were doing the tickets and all of that kind of thing. Not the tickets, but the souvenirs.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was really happy to go through there. It was very, very interesting.
Yeah, they're so weird. I mean, I've been a Freemason since 2008, and it's just, I still learn every day. There's just a lot of stuff going on, but it's the coolest. And that's the cool thing about Freemasonry was there. I'm sitting next to a guy who's the janitor at the high school. The guy to my right is the prosecutor for the county. the judge from whatever sitting over there, the
The
other guy over there.
right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just everybody's on the level though. We walk in there like this guy used to be a teacher at the high school. This guy is a mechanic. This guy is a computer guy. Like we're all the same guy when we walk in there. Everybody's the same. He's a black guy. He's an Asian guy. He's a Hindu. Like whatever. Everybody's the same. So when we walk in there, and that's the cool thing about Freemasons. Like, and that's the thing. We don't believe. Like you don't have to have your hand on the Bible. You got to believe in a higher power. You got to believe in something greater than yourself. So if I want to put my hand on the Bible, cool. If there's a Jewish guy, he wants to put it, that's cool too. The Quran. If Buddhists, like everybody.
Muslims can be, well, yeah, I guess
Muslims are Freemasons, right?
Yeah, that would be out of that region where it would have originated, I guess, Egyptian. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I didn't, what do they, well, I guess you couldn't share that even.
I can share you whatever you want. You can tell me.
What do they know? Is there's always this idea that I've always heard that there is, I know I worked at an alternative newspaper in Detroit, and my boss was a Freemason.
Yeah.
And a lady that worked with me, a black lady, he was white, she was black. She was what are the women? It's
hold on a minute. It's coming to me. Eastern Star.
Eastern Star. She was an Eastern Star. And I wanted to fire her, right? Because I was a telemarketing manager. And so she comes in and does some kind of handshake with him. And he wouldn't let me fire her.
Wow.
Yeah, well, he gave me a good reason now, though. He was really cool, too. Todd was cool. He said, she was my best telemarketer, but she was a handful.
Uh-huh.
And he said, you don't fire your top telemarketer, your top salesperson. Mm-hmm. You learn how to get around her.
Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah. But so I had him on one side and her on the other. But I tell you, he got all my tickets. I probably shouldn't say that. Like nothing.
Yeah.
Jeez. But so I think my father always wanted to be one. He would sing this song all the time about I'm a legion, I'm an elk, I'm a mason and a knight. That's a song. It's an old bluesy song.
Really?
I think
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The I don't know. I honestly got into it because I was like, I'm gonna get in here and figure out what you guys are doing and just tell everybody. I honest to God, I was like, you assholes are doing something, and I'm gonna tell everybody what you're doing.
Well, did you have to ride the donkey?
No, there's no donkey. That's the funniest, oldest joke ever. I swear to God, this guy that when I became a Freemason, I'm not joking you. This guy, I swear to God, was 90 years old, and he told me stories about the Spanish-American War, where his grandfather would have to hide his grandmother and the kids in hollowed out trees, and then during the Civil War and all this stuff, because they were coming through, people were fighting, and that's how old he was. Awesomest guy ever.
Wow.
And he would sit there and tell me, like, we've been feeding the donkey tacks for like a week. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? Just trying to get. He's just laughing, just going it up. Like,
that's not true. Huh?
No, none of that's true at all. He's like, we've been feeding the donkey tags for a week. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? He's just awesomest guy ever. But no, there's so much weird shit. There's so much cool shit though. But they put you through a ritual, like 3 different degrees, and it does something to you, spiritually and not physically. I mean.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like consciously, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And it puts you into a state of mind where you want to be a better human for humanity, a better man for everybody, a better, you know what I mean? Like,
well, there's nothing wrong with that then.
No, totally not. Like I said, I was like, it was all gung ho to like, yeah, I'm going to tell everybody what's going on. But then after I went through it, I was like, wow, I understand this now. This is responsibility, and this is an amazing thing that they let me be a part of. And it goes back to the Egyptian mystery schools, and it goes back to probably Pistis Sophia. And before that, Masonry says it goes back to time immemorial, so before written history.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know,
I know it's got a long history.
Yeah, and everything that I've ever learned is that you get out of it what you put into it. Like, you could just be the guy that shows up and you go through the things and you get the ring and you're like, oh, I'm amazing. And then you just eat breakfast with the guys once a month and you go away. Or you could be the guy that really strives to build your community and do things. Or you could just go do the research and just like learn as much as you can and get contact with other brothers that know all the things that you're doing and get kind of contact with the guys that are into your thing and learn what you want, learn everything you want. But I think that for everybody, it's kind of like it's a spiritual awakening, you know, like I grew up Catholic, which sucked. I'm just gonna be honest. It sucked. And, you know, I went through a bunch of shit that I didn't want to do, you know, and, I, the whole time I'm like, this is not right. This is bullshit. This is, you know, the whole thing. And to be fair, I think that at the beginning of time, maybe in Catholicism, there was some real magic. Maybe there was some real magic, because why would else people show up still and give them money? You know what I mean? Like, maybe there's still a little bit of magic there, but
I think it was the, even in the Black community, it was thought of as better than a Baptist, or better than those people that are shouting in the churches. And you know what I mean? It was a form of a level of what is the word I'm looking for? Oh,
like a stately, uppity.
Yeah.
Like an uppity.
Yeah. But for African Americans, for sure. And I know they wouldn't allow them into Catholicism.
What?
Yeah, for a long time.
What the fuck is wrong with everything? I just don't understand this. I'm sorry. Every once in a while, I just get caught up into the, like, why is this even all happening?
Yeah, it was a big deal. It's so funny you should say that. I was thinking about that the other day, today earlier, about my mother-in-law. You know, she became a Catholic, and it was a big thing to have the father come to the house and blah, blah, blah. But of course, when she died, though, she went back to Baptist, because, you know, you're going to church and you can't understand a damn thing they're saying. You know what I mean?
It's all Latin. They did a lot of stuff in Latin, yeah.
You know, wondering, did God talk in Latin or what the hell?
No,
you know,
they're just doing that because they want to be assholes, I think.
It was a big deal if you were Black and Catholic.
Really?
Yeah. Yes,
wow.
It was.
That's
a cut above.
If you were a Black Catholic, you were just like the shit? Is that how it was?
That's what they thought, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's just amazing.
Isn't it weird?
Why is it so fucked up?
I don't know.
Well, see, and this is the honest truth about Masonry, though, too, as fucked up as it is. In the beginning, it was only white guys.
Yeah. But that's in America, though.
In America, correct.
Right. Because it's definitely not an American institution.
No, totally. It started in England or Scotland, actually, or something before that.
It's beyond that. You know, it goes to Egypt
and beyond that,
you know,
Samaria.
So,
so it's even more fucked up. But like, so Prince Hall Masonry is like the Black Masonry, and I hate to say it, but it is. And it was only until like the 90s that the England, the Grand Lodge of England, recognized Prince Hall Masonry, and it's like, why did it take till 1990, whatever, to fucking recognize?
Because they stole all that shit. You know what I mean? They stole all that text and all those instructions and all of that. I mean, even with the Bible, there's nobody in Africa named Joseph. You know?
Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph Okabublia, you know. I don't think so.
Not coming over here.
No,
that doesn't make any. You're right, though.
Listen, I was a grown woman before I realized Egypt was part of Africa. Because all the Bibles would just show you this Egypt
by
separated. Yeah, you know. And or a grown woman before I understood that Pharaoh was not one man. You know, and even the whole Joseph thing. And then, of course, the Jehovah's Witnesses in their grandness decided they were going to do a Bible as close to the original version as they could possibly do, the New World Translation. And that was a mistake because, you can only tell a lie for so long. I mean, if you're not reading this shit yourself and you're just letting somebody else tell you what it means, well, you're a fool.
Man. That's just like it goes into the Mormons and it goes into like the Scientologists and all these other fucking things. I dug up this
shit in the ground. We found these swords.
You gotta be shitting me, right? So
but wait, Scientologists.
Yeah.
You want to put some cans on your head.
You're going to get to level 47 Zeta.
Well, although Tom Cruise, I don't know, man. Something. He's doing something right, but it's just crazy. The lies that have been told that we buy.
Yeah, people buy it. People buy it. That's why I just don't understand. Like, I really don't hope. And this is a fear for me that if people do come down, like aliens or something, that people don't just turn that into the new religion.
Oh, of course they will. And if these entities but I think Christ has a handle on it this time. Excuse me, I didn't mean to belch in your ear.
No, that's no.
I think he has a handle on it. I think when he came down the first time, because he was commanded to come down to see what the hell this guy had created.
Yeah.
And he came down. I mean, think about it. How he had to come down here, if any of it's true.
Right.
He had to do all this planning. He pulled 12 souls to put in the 12 women down here to birth the disciples.
Yeah.
Then he came down. He snuck down, and they had to sneak him off here to have his birth. He got to Mary and talked her into letting her know that he was going to use her to do it. Then this guy decides, he finds out Herod, and he tries to kill all
everybody
that he thinks is Jesus, right?
Every firstborn.
So he had to sneak down here. And then I think he stayed too long. I think he underestimated the flesh. He stayed down here too long, and that's how he ended up on that cross, asking God, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
I'm
doing your work, man. How'd you help
me out? But I think he wasn't supposed to stay as long as he did, and he ended up.
But that says something, though. Like, I mean, because you and I are hanging out. Like, maybe this is cool. Like life. Like, maybe this is what we're doing. This is actually kind of cool.
Well, I'm sure it did feel that way, but the flesh is. It's uncanny. You know what I mean? You look at the stuff people are doing in the flesh, and I go back to these children all the time because
that's the most horrible thing.
I can't even imagine.
No.
And the flesh is the guide in that, is the lead in that. So no, I don't think he thought it was cool. I think he underestimated. He came to find out what it was about, and he had to get the hell out of here. But I don't. It's just weird. Going back to the New World Translation. I think I had told you that about. I had been reading the regular old Bibles, and you read the Song of Solomon. They're trying to tell you that the Song of Solomon is Solomon singing a song about Jesus as the bridegroom. What?
That doesn't make any sense.
It was going on and on forever. So the Jehovah's Witness changed the wording back to what it said. And the wording says, the first line in there is, "A black girl am I, but beautiful." Mm-hmm. But they had taken that out. And they had changed it to ruddy and to ashy, anything but here's the kicker. When I see this, and I'm so excited about it, because now it makes sense that he's singing to a woman, and I knew he was all the time, but I call a Kingdom Hall, I get a black guy, and I say, I'm saying, well, how did you guys come to this? And the black man is so indoctrinated with what he says to me, well, yeah, it says black, but it doesn't mean black.
Oh, UFOs would mean gray.
He had no answer for that, you know. So I'm saying that to say we are screwed.
Patricia, I love you. We are. We are. We are. But it's going to take people like us to figure it out.
I don't know, man.
Well, the shit that's
'Cause
popping up in the
people
sky that's
don't
getting us to
listen,
get
you
to
know?
well, we don't have to. We just got to look up.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? I mean, if we just keep looking up, well, eventually something's going to tell us what's going on. I got to believe that everything that I've seen has an effect on me that I can't comprehend on a level that I can't even understand. That brings me
To
me and you.
That's true. Because this is weird.
I mean, did you think that when you saw the shit in the sky and you were filming it, that one day you'd be talking to some white dude
No.
hanging out, just having fun, and just?
I'm telling you, I
didn't think I'd be hanging out talking to you.
no. I had no interviews and all of that. No.
No.
I can't even imagine. I couldn't. There was no way for
You
me
didn't
to.
this is what you wanted to do. This is when, like, I'm going to go film this shit and I'm going to be talking to a bunch of white dudes.
And I,
That's not what you wanted to do.
it's interesting to say the least, you know. But
Maybe you did. I don't know.
No, I did
just
not
teasing.
see this coming. You know, I really did not. I really thought I would put it up, and a bunch of black people would just go, "Oh my God, look at that! We got to go. What is this?" With crickets.
After now, I mean, even after the few weeks now that you've been doing interviews and getting out, have black people reached out to you and said, "Hey, thank you. I've seen the same shit too. I'm just scared to say it."
One or two.
That's it.
And then the first interview I did was with a black man, Abram, and Spence. Abram reached out to me right away, and I'd pull me into the room or something in the clubhouse. Is that what it's called? The club?
I haven't been to the clubhouse yet. I've seen that, but I haven't.
You got an invite?
I haven't got an invite yet.
Oh, I'll send you one.
Okay,
I got
cool.
5.
Okay.
I can't. What am I going to do with them? Right?
Bringing the white dude into the clubhouse. You just fucked it up for everybody.
Elon Musk is there.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
just teasing.
tons of them.
Yeah.
But they did, and they were very moved by it.
Yeah.
And he tried to kind of put it out in the community, but we had zero interest. Zero.
Still,
you know. And I did run across a group of a small group on Facebook.
You told me Facebook. Yeah, there was a small group of people that are out there, right?
And they are more cliquish.
Oh, wow.
And
they're more cliquish than UFO Twitter. Wow.
It was very. It was. I felt like you know how you go to a party that you weren't necessarily invited to.
That's how you felt. You stand in the corner, like, okay, guys.
You know, and I mean, here
Wow.
I'm in this virtual thing, but it still felt like I was. Not that I thought they should all come running,
No,
but
yeah.
it was just weird.
Wow, that's, you know, are they? I don't know. And you know, I think maybe we just need to give people time, because it's. I mean, I think you're doing an amazing thing for the community. I mean, I think you're a pioneer in the sense of you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it out there. You know, but you think back at Betty and Barney Hill in 60 whatever. I mean, that was a big deal.
Big deal.
That was a big deal for Betty and Barney Hill. You know, I mean, like that was the most racist. Well, one of the most public. I don't know. America's been racist forever, but I mean, there was still segregation at that time.
Oh,
Betty and Barney Hill came out, right?
Right.
There was like a black drinking fountain and shit. I'm just saying. You know, and that was like.
And here this happens.
And this happened, and they're like, well, we don't need any extra press, but we've got abducted by aliens. Everybody's like, wait a minute, that's a black dude and there's a white chick. What happened?
Well,
Wait,
you know, now they're trying to discredit that. And I'm wondering why.
I don't know.
They're trying to say that it didn't happen.
I stubbed my toe on the way down here. You can tell me that didn't happen, but I can feel that shit. So, you know, it's the same thing. I don't know. Sorry.
It's weird, you know. So I don't know what the deal is. Seriously,
I think it's the connections. I really think it's the connections like you and I have that other people have that if, and just out of the blue when people have, like if we just put our story out there, just be real as humans and say, this is how it is. If you don't like it, get the fuck on. But if you want to jump on and be real with us, come on. Yeah. Just do it. Let's do it together. And if not, fuck off.
It's a very weird thing. You know, I originally wanted to put some short videos in between some of the UFO, UAP things that I filmed, and ask, you know, very short, asking African Americans, have you ever seen one? Do you believe in them? And I run across this chick, I'm not going to say her name, on Twitter. She's I didn't know she was any kind of, I have a bad habit of just thinking I'm the same as everybody. And so I asked her, would she mind, you know, she's a physicist. I think I said that right. And would she do a short little video? I was doing this documentary, and this is a Black chick.
Yeah.
And she tweets back to me, nobody ever helped me.
Wow.
And then I say, that's not true. Somebody helped you along the way.
Yeah.
Then she tweeted back all these crying emojis like I was whining about it.
Wow.
You know, I mean, what do you say to that?
That's just bullshit.
You know?
Is it the stigma? Is everybody just really that stigmatized?
She's a scientist of some sort.
Yeah. Wow.
And she's well known.
That's just more amazing.
You know, so I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, really. I know Abram, and he said that he thought that we were having more of these experiences, that we just are not talking about them.
Well, I think that it has to be okay. And I think that, like, since the New York Times came out, it's been okay generally to talk about it. I think it's been okay generally more for people to talk about it than they ever have been before. But I think that maybe the stigma, like you said,
the church is probably more than anything else. Yeah.
I
but
mean,
still, this is what, 2021?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can use that as an excuse. You know, they're planning to go to Mars, in 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, there's like 4 countries that are on the Mars right now with the rovers.
So that alone should be enough for us to have a little more interest in it.
Well, and I really would wish it would jump out of the gender bias, the race bias, you know, I really wish it would do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
What is the deal with that? I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
I just, when I decided to do the documentary, I went back and looked at several of the UFO documentaries that I had looked at before.
Yeah.
You know, and when you look at something in like a binge watch, you know, maybe I watched this one year, that one, but I watched them all back to back to back. And I really was taken aback of these kind of same groups of white men talking about this in the same way for so many years, you know, and the idea that there's now the disclosure, that's a big thing, and the documents, and they're going over these documents with fine-tooth combs, and the documents don't change. No. You know, there's nothing new in them. You can't see what's redacted anyway, right?
Right.
And so I was kind of taken aback by that and intimidated by it. You know, I said, these guys are never gonna. I mean, you know, you think you want to send something. Look what I got, and everybody would go, "What the hell?" But I think they would be more skeptical than anything else. You know, number one, because I'm Black. Yeah, I think the only reason not the only reason, but one of the reasons people feel that what I've presented is real is because they think I'm Black and uneducated, and that I couldn't possibly fake that shit because they don't think I would have the skill to do that.
I never thought that.
Well, I didn't think you did, but I think, and I don't think they think that in a negative, in a way like, I just think that that's part of why they look at it and think it has to be real. How could she not? How could she? I really do.
I never thought about that until you just said that. That's
Yeah, I don't know. It's just been such a weird little trip here since December.
Well, it's only been December, and it's what is it in March?
Yeah.
It's gonna get a lot weirder.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I think next December we're gonna sit here and go, "Hey, remember in March when we were talking about how it was not weird? Look how weird it is now."
Oh God.
No, I think it's going to be weird for the good, though. I honestly do.
I hope so. I've got 2 more interviews.
You do?
Yeah,
Awesome.
and I'm. I don't know. I know that I won't be talking this way
Right.
with them, but I don't know what else I can say.
Well, you can always call me. You can talk to me. We can talk about it for real. Questions, whatever. We don't have to record shit. We can be real and be friends. I mean, I want to be your friend. I want to help whatever I can. I think there's the only way we can do it is together. That's it. I mean, there's only way. And I think that when you connect with somebody and you have that real connection and somebody has that real experience and you can share that, it's a golden thing that you shouldn't take for granted. And I really feel like the way with you, from the first moment I met you and started talking to you, from the first moment I watched your film, I thought, this is something that resonates with me.
Well, tell me the truth. Did you think I was an alien?
Did I think you were an alien?
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought you were. I thought you were somebody who was gifted with this.
Really?
Yeah, I thought you. I thought. In my mind, when I saw this, I was thinking to myself, to be completely honest, I'm sorry I sound like Barry White. I've just been sick.
That's okay. Just belt one out.
So much love.
Who are you?
I might be an alien.
Oh my God.
I'm out of whiskey.
Is that what it is? I should have had me a whiskey.
You should have had one too. Next time
tea.
You should have 2.
That would be unleashed.
Patricia Unleashed. The 14 shots of Jack Daniels talking about UFOs.
I don't even smoke weed because I would talk too much. I'm talking too much and I'm in control.
That's so great. No, but seriously, I think that I don't even remember what we're talking about.
You were talking about when you first saw the video.
Oh, when I first saw the video, I was like, whatever this is presenting itself to somebody who A, doesn't necessarily want it, and 2, doesn't give a shit if it's there or not, and 3, is presenting it in a way that only a person like that can present it. That's in my mind. It was like, she's not out there looking for doing CE5 and calling aliens in. You're not out there watching every Ancient Aliens episode and trying to be a part of this world. You just happened to see some shit and just captured it, and it captured you at the same time.
Right.
And that's how it worked in my mind. And that's what I saw when I saw the film. I didn't see you because all of your video, you're like, I would use this voice because it's, the voice, you didn't want to narrate it, all that stuff. And I was like, this is a person who doesn't necessarily want to be in this game. She's not in here to find 400 million fucking followers on Twitter and have the biggest YouTube. No, she's just trying to get this shit out.
I wanted somebody, if somebody had said, oh, these are actually,
birds, balloons.
Just really, really look, we can show you that it's a bird. And I would have been okay with that, I think,
Yeah.
but that did not happen. I did send it to an astrologer I got at a university. And initially he's going, well, I can't tell you what it is because the camera's shaking. I said, well, the camera's not shaking. The thing is actually bouncing like that. And he says, well, so and so. And then he emailed me back and he says, I don't know what about this made me not fear him, but it was a strange thing. He says, he just emailed back this. He says, where did you get these?
My backyard, dude. Yeah.
And that was all he put in it. Is where did you get these? And it seemed like it was an angry ask,
Yeah.
And I said, oh, well,
Yeah.
bye.
See
So
ya.
it's just been interesting. I've had some support that really I've cried a lot in the last couple of months, weeks, because I don't know. It's just been interesting.
Well, listen, you're not alone.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, it's for a reason, I guess.
I suppose.
Whatever that
Yeah.
is, and then when you come back to it, you remember you're not alone.
Right.
You got weird white dudes in Ohio that are with you. Freemason white dudes in Ohio that sitting on all kinds of secrets.
Right. We have to get you. What would really make a person divulge their secrets?
Shit, I can tell you. I took some oaths that I don't want to.
No, I know you couldn't. I wouldn't ask you to do that.
But
I could probably Google it anyway.
Yeah, that's right. You're totally right. Now you can just Google all of it. You can tell
Right.
how I would be disemboweled if I told you what I told you. It's a very specific way, and it's not. It's very creative, and I can't believe it.
Well, yeah, we don't want that to happen.
No, I don't. How did he die? What?
Yeah.
How did that? How does? Who even thinks
Say
of
that again.
Yeah.
I know. Who thinks of some of this shit? Who the hell thought of an electric chair? But anyway, I won't be.
No, you're right. You're right. Who does it? There's so many different weird.
What kind of evil is that?
I don't know. But at the same time, if it's just a big video game, then what the fuck? Who cares?
Yeah, but that shit probably hurts.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right. It does. But
Yeah.
all you got is love. That's what I keep coming back to. It's so hard to love. You know how easy it is to hate and how hard it is to love?
I don't believe in love the same way I used to.
Really?
No, so many things have changed for me as I get older. I read. Obviously, I read a lot, right?
Well, love is in like being in love with a partner, or being like love for your kids, or for like.
Well, I find that fluctuates. Your child is 3. Wait
Yeah.
till she's 13.
Yeah, I want to punch her in the throat at that point.
Some of that, you're going to have a real hard time trying to understand what there is to love about that
I'm
mouth.
gonna call you then. We're like, Patricia, remember when you were telling me about 10 years
Yeah.
ago?
But I tell you, the guy that actually set the video on a kind of a viral path, he and I had this long conversation about love. And we ended it on a really nice note. It was a white guy, because everybody on Twitter is white unless it's black Twitter, right?
Patricia, can I show up in black Twitter where they throw me out?
What the hell is black Twitter?
I don't even know. That's what I'm
I
asking you.
don't
I didn't even know it was a thing.
They don't like me, so I don't know.
Hey, I'm Jon Majerowski. Nice to
Right.
meet you. Get the fuck out of here, honky.
You'd probably
Get the fuck out.
get more out of it than I do. But
Oh, Jesus.
it's just, I'm not sure. You watch Mad Men?
Not often, but I have.
Well, Don said that love is just something white men made up to sell Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I did read that. Yeah, I did. I see that. I saw that one.
It's not that I don't believe in love, but it's not that the kind of love that I used to believe in. I don't know how to explain
No,
that.
I understand what you're saying. I do.
Yeah.
And that
It's-
puppy dog
it's-
love. It's not the puppy
Yeah,
dog love.
yeah. Because you have this situation here where supposedly Jesus was down here talking about love, but I don't believe that anymore. He had I think he had an entirely different purpose. And so when you take this thing that they're trying to put on us, about, if it was real in any kind of true sense, it would last, right? It would not break up. It wouldn't break.
Well, but then you got to think about the other, like we talked about earlier. Like, what if there's another entity that's trying to bust it up? And what if there's something else that's trying to?
But it still wouldn't. If it was real, if it was solid as it's supposed to be, or have the ability to solve so many problems, then I just don't see how the world could be as it is. You know what I mean? I just don't
Yeah.
see how it
Yeah.
could be that way.
Because it's hard. I think that's because it's
yeah.
hard. It's
But-
really hard. It's like math for me. It's fucking hard. Love is hard. It's just.
Why
I
would
mean,
it be that hard?
well, it's because if it was easy, everybody would do it.
And why not? What wouldn't you want that?
Maybe some of us, maybe some part of whatever this is doesn't want that. What if the other part of it that feeds off the bad stuff? What if it actually gets its power and its energy and its life force from us being assholes? Do you know what I mean? Like
Well, yeah.
and killing each other and doing evil shit. What if that, whatever that is, feeds off of that?
God, that's too much.
Yeah, that's one of the theories that all these wars that are fighting and all that bloodshed and the death and all the hate and all the
And it's been that way since the beginning.
right. So what if there's
Right.
something that's doing that because it literally feeds off of that energy?
I guess that's possible.
You know what I mean? If something was that was their lifeblood.
But what
that
if
was-
isn't love supposed to conquer all?
But it is. But it's
How-
hard.
but-
How could you drop to your sword and hug a guy that you're supposed to cut his throat? How could a white guy help a black guy? How could a black guy help a white? And then you go through the whole thing. Like if you're in the lowest thing, if you just separate everybody, you're the Germans, you're the Americans, you're the Nazis. You're the black guys, you're the white guys, you're the Asians, you're the everybody wants to hate everybody. What happens if we just say fuck it, we're all the same?
They tried in the 70s.
In the 60s, yeah, the hippies.
Yeah,
did.
the 60s. They
Yeah,
tried.
They got close though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they
they
did.
did.
They had the love-ins. They had
Yeah.
all of that. I mean, it was close. Martin Luther King. Everybody is doing it.
So what it seems like is that hate conquers all.
Mm,
And
it's
and
the easier thing. That's the thing. People like easy shit.
I
Nobody wants
don't
to do anything
think
that's
it's
hard.
easy to hate. I think
Sure,
I think
it is.
takes a lot of energy and a lot of stuff has to happen.
To hate.
Yeah, to make somebody hate. And I say that because, and I mean, I'm not segueing into any specific trauma. I have so much hatred toward me from my family that you wouldn't believe. And so, something has gone into that to make that occur. Because I tried the love thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried it from my heart,
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't work. People want to hate, and I think it takes more energy to do that, to consistently find a reason to hate. I think
Yeah.
you almost have to be building bridge after bridge after bridge after bridge of hate for it to remain so constant.
Well, I mean, I've found myself, and I thought that too, but like when you ever get into a conversation with somebody you're working with or just somebody at church, wherever, and they're talking, they're just like, yeah, and then, this happened, and isn't this suck, and the government sucks, and, I'm not getting this today, and, all this is going on, and you find yourself going, yeah, that does suck. Yep. yeah, you know what? And then you spin your own thing. Like, yeah, and you know what? My car broke down today. And yeah, you know what? I got fired last week. And then it's easy when somebody brings you into that and you just go down and then you don't even notice that you're just rolling with it. You're like, yeah, everything fucking sucks. But, you know what I mean? I've caught myself doing that when you're just having a conversation, you know? You're in the grocery store, some random person's like, yeah, everything sucks. Everything does suck. What does it suck? Yeah, fuck the government. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's so different when somebody's like, hey, how are you? Good. Yeah, you look great today. Like, you know what I mean? And like, that just shocks the shit out of you. You're like,
right.
Well, what's your fucking problem?
I'm not saying that it's impossible. And I'm not saying that love doesn't exist.
Yes.
I'm saying it's rare.
It is.
You know,
You're right.
it's real love is really, really rare. Just like real friendship is really, really rare.
It is.
You know, and so I don't think it's harder to love. I think love requires, as you get older anyway, you understand that you just can't give it to everybody.
There you go. And you got to be selective.
You have to be selective.
And you got to be reciprocative. Like it has to come back to you.
It has to come back. And you have to understand the different types of love. There's a book called The Four Loves, right? Erotic love, agape love, I forget the other two. But when you read that, when I read that and I understood that, it made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, that all love is not equal, you know, and there isn't any one love that can conquer all, you know, because some people think sex is love. Some people think material things. I mean, it's too that any one idea of love can conquer all. It's too broad, and you end up getting hurt. I think, you know. No. But so my idea of love changed as I got older. It changed, and it a lot has changed in my head in the last 5 or 6 years. You know, I mean, I have a son. He's 45. And we have had some, I know he loves me and I love him, but we have had some arguments where, and you had to go and find it, remember?
Remember that. I used to love this kid.
Yeah, you know, right. and that's when I begin to understand that, you know, it's, there is no one-way ticket. Love does not conquer all. You know, because I think with all these churches and all this stuff, and the bottom line then is if love conquers us all, and especially in the Black community, there's 20 churches on every block, and nothing's happening.
Oh my God!
You know, then something's wrong. Somebody is misunderstanding something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just interesting, you know. I think you definitely can feel something for someone, you know, but you can't change anybody.
No, you can't.
No,
you can't change anybody at all. But you can change the way you feel. My mom told me. My mom told me when I was young, and still rings true now. She says you can't change people. She said you can only change your reaction to them.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what I really try to remember that.
Yeah.
Because you want so bad to change somebody, but she's like, you can't change a person. You can just only change the way you react to them.
Right.
And that makes a lot of sense, you know.
Yeah, you're only in control of you.
Well, basically, I'm not controlling myself half the time. I don't know.
Well, you know what I mean. You know,
no, I know. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to be funny.
If you're going to change anybody, it can only be yourself.
That's true.
You know. But
I don't know. I just hope that if ships land from the sky and everybody gets out and they're all Black people.
Really?
Well, that'd be the greatest thing ever. I'd be like, what the fuck?
No,
we just done fucked up for all this time. We're fucked now.
Well, you know, that's so funny. It wouldn't.
Black women too, not just Black women. Just
Black women.
Black women. No Black men, just Black women just come out going.
Wait.
Okay.
No brothers?
No, just, you know, I don't know. But just to fuck all these white dudes up that think they know what's going on. Because
That would
one of my things is that like, it comes to you as you can understand it, you know. So what if it's just like just a bunch of black women that come out and they're like, okay, well, we're here.
Y'all's done.
You're done. You're done.
I don't think any of that's going to happen.
Well, you never know. I thought it just now. It could.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Oh my God.
It's been interesting. I tell you that.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. I should probably let you go. My wife's probably going up there going, are you going to come to bed sometime today?
That's right.
I thought you were sick.
That's
Been laying on the couch all day, you asshole.
Let's go up there and lay that voice on it. She'll be all right.
And she'll be like, get out of my face. You're going to get me sick. Thank you for hanging out with me.
No, I enjoyed it very much. Did that scare you?
Always. Just be going, all right, Patricia, you have a good night.
Bye,
We're
Mary.
going to take you back down the road.
Well, you have no idea. I have on my grandson's headset and it's vibrating.
It's real loud, right? It's
It vibrates.
last call for alcohol. You don't got to go home, but you can stay here.
You are crazy.
Yeah, I am.
I love it.
The ugly lights are coming on. Get your drinks and go home.
Oh my God.
And you don't got to drive drunk. Call a cab. All right.
You're going to have so many regrets in the morning.
Every day of my life, I wake up with regrets. But luckily, I can't remember them.
Oh, God.
I love you, Patricia.
You too. You
Good
have
night.
a good night. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.